right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer Review podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
It's the 6 o'clock check-in. Come on, let's go. It's the AM nasty big hello. Hello.
It's not static AM radio.
It's the Coolbet Red Hot Nielson show. Let's go. Everybody's tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life. The cracker sixer like with some sirloin bites.
Wrong clip. Wrong clip. There you go. It's funny when you do a dough for a dough moment. That's kind of strange.
Glue guy?
Glue guy. You're suspended 3 games. It's the end of the world. The sky is falling. The NHL doesn't protect their stars, and somebody's going to fight Connor Garland on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, what a show we've got for you today.
Yeah, old turtleneck gets out unscathed, eh?
Unscathed.
Lives to play another day.
How did they not suspend him for interference?
Oh.
That's what I want to know.
Well, we got 3 hours to discuss.
Yeah, we got lots to discuss.
As Penner's Pancake says, 500 like show, I think.
Look, if you're here this morning, you know why you're here.
Santander
it's game
news.
day. Ovi's in town. Santander signed. Notre Dame didn't get blown out. And, of course, Connor McDavid suspended 3 games. Tyler Myers suspended 3 games, as well as the NHL just slaps the old 3-gamer on both of them. There is a lot to discuss. In fact, to be honest with you, there's probably more that we are discussing than we probably should even be discussing about this.
Good point.
All right, but we'll get into all of it. 780-218-9999. The Nielson Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his dream team out at South Fort Chev. Hop on their website, www.southfortchev.com. Get a look at what they're offering out there, but they've got a bunch of great things going on here in January, including the 90-day payment deferral or up to $10,000 cash back to help you pay off the holidays or whatever else you got built up. Maybe you spent $10,000 in fantasy football league entry fees and didn't win anything back. Well, South Fort Chevrolet is ready to help you get out of that little pickle. Go see them. www.southfortchev.com. They've got those 2025 tracks on right now for $148 bi-weekly, which to me sounds like a pretty good deal for a vehicle. Penner's Pancakes over on the Nasty Chat says EST doesn't even need program scripts today. The next 12 hours is already written. You're right, it is. Everybody's going to be talking about my player rankings, 21 to 30, on the greatest list of all time.
Yeah, it started trending last night on the old X, and throughout the overnight period, I think people abroad kind of got a hold of it, and now it's just top of
That's just a big thing now.
So you go to that little magnifying glass search thing, and it's right there.
Joe Sakic is tuning in today
Well.
just to see where he ends up on the list. Is he higher or lower than Steve Yzerman? Find out around 6:45 today. Does Ron Francis make the list yet?
Well, interesting. No goaltenders. One tease from today's list that I'm just
no D-men.
sorry, or no D-men.
Three goalies.
Three goalies.
Three goalies. Three more goalies that I had to get into the top 30, but no D-men. Not a one. Not in this spot. So I guess the next list, 31 to 40, might be D-man heavy. All right, let's lay out the show for you today because we do have a busy one.
Take that, Tyler Myers.
That's for sure. Sailor says he wants to talk about my beard. What do you think about my beard? Glue Guy yesterday said, hey, man, your beard's coming in really nice.
I don't think too much about it, and I think that's good. Like, it just looks natural on you.
My beard
it's
is
nothing,
not a Matthias Ekholm beard, but it's the beard. It's a Matthias Ekholm of beards.
You have a little gray near the bottom,
steady,
I think. There's
little bit of gray
that's
there.
okay, though. It doesn't look...
No, I mean, I'm a beard guy until like kickoff of preseason.
Your burns blend in good with the hair. Like you've got that at a good length. And I
don't mind the look right now. No. It's a little shaggy.
In fact, you could really carve out a real good chin strap out of that puppy. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine?
We know what you're
rolling
doing.
In. What do we got?
We know what you're doing.
A month and 10 days until charge.
This is preseason, baby.
This thing would come in here. I wouldn't even get to come to work because my wife would be making so much love to me because of my chin strap that I wouldn't even be able to. Sorry, boys, I'm out. Are you calling in sick? No, I'm calling in sex. That's what's happening here. I can't come in today. Simple as that. Because of the chin strap for Charge. Chin Strap Awareness Month. All right, here's the show for you today. Sheldon says he wants to see it in a year. Keep it going. No, I don't want to become big like bushy beard guy. I like moderately bushy beard.
They already have their Dunnigan too. Like you can't.
Yeah, I don't need to be fancy beard guy. I don't like shaving, so I just stopped shaving. We will get morning announcements coming up. Early fan zone on the way because we got to get to your reaction on the McDavid suspension right away. So we're going fan zone for fansfirst.ca. I did use Fans First to get tickets to the game tonight. Surprise! I told Marshall yesterday we were driving to basketball, and he goes, we were listening to a Reed and Jay, and they were talking McDavid suspension had just come down. It's 3 games, and I said, I guess he won't be there tomorrow night when we go. I wonder what time we should get there. And Marshall sits in the back of the truck. He goes, what? I said, I wonder what time we should get to the game tomorrow night. He goes, what game? I said, the Oilers game with Ovi in town. We're going to go see Ovi. He goes, what? And his face is just like, I've never seen such a round, smiley face. He was just like, I said, yeah, we're going to go. You and me. We're going to go see Ovi. And he goes, oh, I'm so excited. And then he goes, but what about the Muzz? I said, well, it's going to be too late for her. We're not going to go home until like 10:30 or 11, so Mommy doesn't want her to come. And he goes, okay, I understand that.
Boys
well, this
night
is
out.
going to be great. Yeah, so he's very excited. I hadn't seen a smile on his face like that for a while. He was excited.
Go for a little supper, hey? Or something like
We're
that?
Gonna go for supper. We're going to go for supper before, and then we're gonna hit the game tonight. So watch out. The Nielson boys are on the loose.
The rest of last night makes sense now.
Yeah.
I kind of...
The
excitement is...
so,
it's
it's
like Bowen's waiting for your list. I mean, you can't... Yeah,
everybody's excited about the list.
Somebody says you should call it the GLOAT, the greatest list of all time.
Yeah, you know what? I should.
You just made the list!
Yeah.
Makes my day.
All right, so the fan zone's coming up early. Tales of the North today. It's a good one. Eric says his part's going to be very good.
Well,
I think my part's going to be very good.
Like Ovi's in town.
There's
the Caps.
so much.
Some say the Caps are the best team in the league. Others would argue not.
No, some yell that the Caps are best team in the league. Tales of the North, 6:30 today. The top list of all time continues around 6:40, 21 to 30. Jamie McLennan's flying tomorrow, so he's joining us today. We'll get Noodles' thoughts on the suspension. Does the NHL need to do a better job of protecting their stars? We'll get into that. Does Skinner get back into the top 6 with McDavid out?
Opportunity.
What's the meme when the guy and the girl are like looking at somebody and it's like Kasperi Kapanen's walking the other way and Skinner's looking at Knobloch being like, what? Kapanen slides in. We'll see. I'd like to just see Skinner. Give him 3 games in the top 6 and see if he's learned the defensive side of the game. As he's been healthy scratched a bunch lately.
A Phil test drive, if you will.
Why not? Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, just give him
but
a
for
week
Skinner,
test drive
I
here.
get it.
Yeah.
All right, Noodles is going to be by just after 7. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. I'm fired up about NHL suspension videos. So I would rather have somebody kick me in the nuts than watch one of those things.
I miss using the audio. We'd always grab the audio at the old place.
Yeah. It's
Therefore,
NHL
this is-
system. Yeah, with the accent, like there's.
And
little-
you have to wait till the end. Like
Yeah.
they'd go through the entire play describing it if you're
Summarizing.
blind, and then you would, therefore.
summary.
Yeah.
This is cross-checking. Thanks, tips.
Didn't know that one.
EST parlay for the game tonight. We will dive into that one. We are a week away. Nope, tomorrow we're a week away from the next Edmonton Sports Talk, Winnipeg Sports Talk, Lock Shop Poker Series event. So that should be fun. 7:30 today, Weekly Confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental. Mark Kilum is going to join us. We, on this show, haven't had a chance to catch up with Kilum. He's been on the station, but I'm looking forward to chatting with him. Lots to get to. You know, one thing I want to get to with him is that he was kind of billed as like a hot commodity for a while, as like going to be a head coach somewhere, going to be a head coach. But
Interviewed a lot.
But then Calgary happened this year. You know, it seemed like some of the shine was taken off of that entire staff in Calgary. And I'm wondering if he thought, like missed my window. But obviously he didn't. But I wonder if there was a little bit of a concern there for
Is
him.
he to blame for the cold breakfasts?
I don't know. What are you having for breakfast today, Mark? Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. That hurts for James H. Brown. Gage will be by around 8:30. We got the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast, the Marmot Basis Snow Report, and of course the wrap for William Huff. Arthur is in and says, I could feel Stoff getting mad yesterday. Pretty funny. He used the Lord's name in vain twice. I also heard that he did a hilarious joke when he said, Vancouver has no cups and 2 riots. Oh, man. That is funny stuff. All right, let's get into your morning announcements today for 100.3 The Bear. All right, we're going to hit your morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Yukon and McCord every morning. Jess Jackson, when she's not on vacation, on the way home every single day over on 100.3 The Bear. We're going to transition to the fan zone here and get to your instant reaction. Of course, your thoughts on the McDavid suspension and the entire conversation that's come from that. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And make sure you fan zone those texts, eh? Get the fan zone on there.
Fan zone.
As well.
See, you're going to be yelling it tonight, and Marshall. I can't wait to hear that.
Fan zone. Actually, I
break
will.
and play.
I got my tickets at Fans First. No fees. Cheaper than the other resellers.
You'll be leading it. Yeah, leading the charge.
Great.
Yeah.
The tickets got delivered to my email yesterday afternoon. I added them to my wallet, and I'm off to the game.
Easy. Simple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very simple.
No stress.
Yeah. Marshall hasn't been to an NHL game since he was 6. So he's going to be.
Wait till he
he's
sees
9
the
now.
prices.
Yeah, I see. Sorry, Marsh. Did you bring enough money for your popcorn? You can't have that. It's too expensive at the games. All right, let's quickly hit on other things from around the world of sports yesterday. Ohio, man, it looked like Ohio State was going to absolutely run away with the Natty, but
Well, we always
Notre
had
Dame made it somewhat interesting.
First quarter was great. That drive that the Irish had was phenomenal. That's what you want to do against a high-powered offense, and to which everybody said they would steamroll you there. So, yeah, 7-0 out of the first, but then that second. And then they interviewed Freeman at the half, and he was like, we play man and we can't stop them. We play zone and we can't stop them. I really don't know what to do. Paraphrasing a bit, but you kind of felt it might go off the rails. Will Howard I think he didn't have an incompletion there for the longest time, at least half the game. But then it was, I told you, every time I wanted to switch the channel, something
Just
happened where it
sucked you
just
in.
pulled me in a bit. And I was like, well,
I changed away in the second half, but then I saw, they scored. Flip back. I don't think it's going to happen. Flipped away, flip back.
they were driving down late, and they elected to go for that field goal and then doinked it, and that was kind of the... You would have scored there, though.
It was funny because I was a little late turning it on. I got home, flipped it on, and Ohio State had just scored their first touchdown. And I thought, oh, boy, it's already... And then the score popped up, and it was 7-7. I thought, wow.
First drive was amazing.
Okay, yeah.
that
So I
Irish
missed
drive
the first
was, yeah.
Notre Dame drive. But what they drive, like 70 yards, and then after that, it was like 18 yards over
it was almost a quarter long, that drive. So
They needed a few more of those yesterday.
Exactly.
Unable to get it done. The Blue Jays signed a guy that the Dodgers obviously didn't want. Santander, 44 bombs last year. I saw him being projected for like 30 to 35 this year. But,
I don't say with too much tongue in cheek, but maybe there is a home run song, here. That would be a guy.
It's a unique name.
Yeah, and he is known for going yards.
Let's see how he fits in. Let's see if the team is worthy of any new home run songs this year. What do you get? 90 some million over 5 years?
As per the tweet, Tony Taters, I think is what they're...
I got time for that. I got time for that as a nickname.
Yeah, the Jays are back.
There. I'm gonna need more than a Tony Taters
Straw,
to care about the Jays again. Yeah. If you're watching over on YouTube this morning, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be very much appreciated. It is game day, Weathers and Caps tonight, and obviously we are here for your reaction to the Connor McDavid 3-game suspension. The other note coming from last night, non-sports related, but it has been confirmed and it's finally happening next Friday from 9 to 11 on the Hangout. Ladies and gentlemen, Trev, who clearly showered this morning, his hair looks terrific. He just perked up because Handsome Man Draft is locked in.
First round grade
For Trev. You're putting a first round grade on Trev.
Well, if we're the hair, the showering...
Handsome Man Draft, myself, Glue Guy, Tommy, Lieutenant Eric. I don't know what the path to victory is in Handsome Man Draft.
What's the path to losing? Are we relegating? Are we doing any of that? Like, I need to know kind of ahead of time before I totally throw this one.
What's the rule? Less than 10? Less than
10, you're out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's less than 10, you're out. So you need at least 11% to remain in the draft.
I know we've been talking about other, different leagues.
Yeah. Like secondary
EST
draft that gets
pyramid.
moved up. More on that on the staff meeting a week from today.
Yeah.
Hey, how about my cleaning schedule, boys?
I love it.
What do you think about that?
Why? Where is it? I'd like
It's
to kind of pour over
just
it.
inside the door over there.
Talk about lists. And I said yesterday too, and I think Trev's very favorable, and I'm glad that you kind of looked at this show and saw us and said, you know what? Give my boys kind of first crack on that, because I don't want to be cleaning up in the spring and the fall.
Yeah. Well, I just did it in alphabetical order.
Don't just don't say that. Just take,
and it only
take that.
You know, the only reason I did that because I cleaned the office this month.
Yes.
And then I looked at it. I said, well, I start with a D. Nobody starts before me, so let's just go in alphabetical order.
Okay, fair enough.
So I created a schedule for cleaning. This is what happens when I'm not gone every weekend for CFL.
Mm-hmm.
I just find other things. I'm like, oh, we should do this. We should do this. So I created a schedule where one guy per month will have to clean the office.
Vacuuming, dusting.
Dust, Lysol, wipe down like monitors and stuff.
Yeah, no, this doesn't involve this doesn't involve the common area. This is just within these walls.
That's not our responsibility.
I know. I'm just saying.
I mean, that could be better maintained, but it's not supposed to be us.
That's a take.
If you know what I mean,
yeah.
Mrs. Landlord Lady. But yeah, it took me like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Nothing.
And then it works out that each of us have to do it like once a year.
Look,
I think you and I will have to do it twice.
We're paid handsomely
year,
enough, and it's the least we could do. And again, I like the shortest, February 20. What do you get? 28
You do have a
days
short month, my man.
Yeah, but do you do it at the beginning of the month? Do you do it mid? Do you do it at the end? I mean, if I do it at the end of
It's up to
February,
you.
and Mr. March comes in and does a March 2,
then we'll have a very clean office for a week.
I'm just saying, you'd be better off to clean it closer to, I guess, first of the month.
I see what you're saying.
There's a strategy here.
Bang it
There's a
out.
strategy here.
Every second month, the guy could barely have to do anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so you could talk to somebody in April and say, hey, or something like that. I don't know, but no, I'm looking forward to it. It's good. Get to learn about the office. A chance to go into Iwanix room, muck around in there.
Yeah, you can. It's got to be clean. It's got to be clean. I'm sure there'll be a sign on his door that says,
yeah.
"Please do not clean my office."
Just throw everything out.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's something new around here. Handsome Man Draft is something new around here. That'll be happening. A lot of people texting and saying, "Hey, can Tommy draft himself?" I mean, Tommy can draft himself if he wants. Dwayne from Tway says, "Will there be a handsome man who bathes category?"
Oh,
maybe. All right, keep the text messages rolling in. It's busy. It is busy. I love this. Deans is in. It says, "Hey Dusty, this is Deans, the Ohio State fan who was scheduled to give you my pitch on why you should become an OSU fan before you jumped on the first university who played you a song.
I love this.
Well, it's been 3 years, and I hope you're happy with your decision." God,
just waiting in the weeds, eh?
Deans, I love you, man. Like to circle back around 3 years later and throw it at me, that's brilliant stuff. I am very impressed. If I could give you a thumbs up, I would. Instead, if you wouldn't mind hopping on YouTube and giving us one, that would be terrific. How about? I guess I should have waited and heard his pitch. I just got so excited about the Irish intro. And stuff.
Emotion. You were heart over head in that.
Remember that? I was just like, I'm in.
Well, of
you
course.
convinced me. Like, would have been nice to be on the other side of it last.
Who's
night.
crying now? You again.
I just really want to be on the same bandwagon as LeBron.
He was having a great time.
He was there, yeah.
He was doing the hi.
He was having a great time.
I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, you were going against him last night. We didn't really focus on that too much yesterday.
Marshall was also on Ohio State because he uses them in college football. He's like, these are my guys.
He's a Buckeye, yeah.
I said, oh, look at this. He's pretty excited about that. Every time they did, what's his favorite run in that game? Buck toss or something like that. He's like, Daddy, I think that was the buck toss. It's like the only running play he uses against me in the game. He's like, I think it was the buck toss, Daddy. I said, all right, man. All right, let's get into the fan zone for fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. I have used this service myself for tonight's game. Extremely smooth. Very easy, actually. Tickets locked and loaded, ready to go. Dean's is saying, LeBron and Johnny Utah, Dusty, you were born to be a Buckeye. Maybe I was. Yeah. Should I switch allegiances? The day after the national championship?
You're entering the transfer portal.
You know what?
Hey, you're allowed. The players can do it.
Maybe I do enter the transfer portal.
Why not?
You see that Notre Dame brought in like 20 mil during this run, and since they're not in the conference, they get to keep the 20 mil?
And now, like, I don't know if you noticed, no SEC school involved. I mean, the tides have shifted totally. Yeah. So you can do whatever the hell you want. I think you'd be forgiven.
Here's my question. Should I jump in the transfer portal from a college football fan perspective?
Mo, if you're listening, it's going to be a tough morning for him.
I'm just wondering. I'm not saying I am. I'm considering transfer portal. Why would anybody not consider transfer portal?
I know you want to get to it in the third hour too, but that Leafs broadcaster as well with his.
I felt bad about Joe Bowen. I mean,
you're gonna leave him.
We'll come back around to that. Hurts a little bit later on, but I felt really bad for Mr. Bowen yesterday.
Holy mac!
The fan zone for fans first. Get your tickets. No extra fees. Fansfirst.ca. And if you are at the game tonight and you see me, please yell out "Fan Zone." And I'll give you a high five. I think that should be a lot of fun tonight. Colton says, guys listening on iHeart legit just hopped over to help us change 100. My man. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, you can listen on iHeart, tune in, EdmontonSportsTalk.com as well. And if you have any categories for the Handsome Man Draft, we'll circle around to this over the next 10 days or so, but submit those as well to 780-218-9999. Nacho Man says, hey, Dusty, get Nisku Glass to make you a transfer portal. I don't even know how that would work, but that is funny. All right, so your thoughts on the suspension. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. A fan zone in NHL DPS narrator's voice. As you can see by the video, the official completely ignores the bear hug by Garland for 20 seconds. McDavid then without cause cross-checks Garland in the face. For his actions, he has been suspended for 3 games.
I like the DPS narrator's voice scenarios here. I
can't do Burke's voice, but I wish I could.
A generator to run it through, hey?
Yeah, so you got the actual... Somebody should create the AI NHL Dops voice. I think that would be good.
Use it around the home with your family, you know.
Eric, your thoughts on the 3 games and then the entire conversation that sort of popped up yesterday?
Again, it was a little... I think we were all a little taken back and surprised that it was a little much, but I think the only thing that is consistent about the NHL Department of Player Safety is the inconsistency. And I think we end up saying that anytime something happens.
Every time. Every time.
To be surprised, yes. I think we're surprised that it was 3, but I'm not too surprised that, they do go the even Steven route and make it easy on themselves. Look, guys, we'll just, it's a saw-off. You both get 3. You sit in the corner and whatever. Whose tweet was that? I think Blackburn there. They should just lift it for the game, though, Thursday. So that it
should be a brouhaha.
Chaos over Law and Order. But no, look... I'm surprised at the number, but then again, I'm not surprised, and we shouldn't have been surprised, and we should not be taken back at all as to what the Department of Player Safety does, because, again, it just seems like every decision that ever happens, whether it's Oilers related or not, whether it's star player related or not. I mean, you saw yesterday online, people are digging up, and there's always, look at this video, look at this cross check. I mean, there was some hellacious.
I did that twice last
the
night.
Jacob Trouba swinging like John Anderson.
That was the game. Like,
so I don't know what the requirements are, or
Eric,
is
don't
there
worry,
a book
nobody does.
with you look that up and then it equals into that? There's really nothing. It's all fit and feel. It's all emotion. Much like your lists, I guess, of the NHL. Like this is a hard
my
thing.
lists are more accurate than this garbage.
I would agree, but no. The consistency is the inconsistency. If this is catching you off guard, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say, but welcome to the club. 1, maybe 2, not 3.
I thought 1, maybe / likely 2, but I did not see 3. I did not see 3 coming down the pipe.
And I think with Myers, too, as we discussed, I mean, that was... We had a little fun with what Bouchard must have said to him, but at least Connor was responding to something.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there's
on that. Like,
if you want to do an argument and take a deeper dive, at least there was something going on where he had to respond to an action. Myers and
engaged
Bouchard were
in the
standing
heat
there.
of battle. Yeah.
I mean, so, and you're going to say that's even? Okay.
I think if Myers got 3, I think McDavid should have only got 2.
Fair, yeah.
I just don't know how you can look at them and say, now, look, if they're dumbing it down to cross checks to the head, and that's it, then yes, they were both cross checks to the head. Okay, we can't forget that they were both cross checks to the head. But if you actually look into the plays and see one that was more of a coming out of being engaged in battle, and the other one was 2 guys looking at each other, and one guy just cross-checked the other guy directly in the face. Yeah. I think Myers probably should have got 3, and McDavid should have got 2. Overall, this is not the end of the world. And what really fired me up yesterday was the conversation that came from it. And that, like, I thought this one was a weird one to talk about stars being protected in the National Hockey League. And I quote tweeted Stoff's freak out tweet yesterday about the NFL is better at protecting all this stuff. Connor McDavid cross-checked somebody in the face. This is not about protecting the stars. There's a difference between protecting the stars and calling the game the way it should be, in my opinion. Protecting the stars is I don't view calling, holding, and hooking more often on these guys because McDavid is fast as protecting the stars. I'm allowing them. I mean, you're allowing you want to try to allow them to play their game, yes. But I view protecting the stars as in Connor McDavid gets cross-checked in the face by Connor Garland, and the NHL does nothing about it. To me, that's protecting the stars. That would be, okay, what are they doing here? Connor McDavid was a victim, and the punishment was light. To me, there's a major difference between officials sucking and not calling the game properly, which is true, and NHL stars aren't protected properly. Let's be honest. I think NHL stars should probably feel more comfortable than NHL stars ever have in the history of the bloody game. There's very little contact in the National Hockey League nowadays compared to what we've seen in the past. These guys have the ability to buzz around the ice a lot better than the Pavel Buries and guys back in the day. So I don't think it's so much we need to do a better. If you want to have that conversation about protecting stars better, do it after a slew foot. Let's not have this conversation after Connor McDavid, the biggest star in the game, cross-checks somebody in the head. It's an officiating conversation. I don't think it's you have to protect the stars better conversation, which kind of frustrated me a little bit online. I'm not saying that they shouldn't call more penalties. They should. They should just call the proper penalties, whether it's a star player or not a star player. Just call the bloody rule book. And there's too much game management from officials. But I don't think superstars in the National Hockey League today are running around scared for their safety compared to those who came before them. So I think this is the wrong incident to argue about treatment of superstars and protecting players. I mean, I think we went down the wrong path in this market yesterday.
Changing 100.
McDavid wasn't the victim. McDavid cross-checked somebody in the head. Okay? If Connor Garland cross-checked McDavid in the head and they only gave him one game or he didn't get anything, Then you talk about protecting the stars. But this is a there's too much clutching and grabbing bitch and complaint from some people in this market. That's not necessarily a protecting the stars issue. What you're wanting is more coddling of your stars, which I don't fully agree with either. So we'll see where this sorts itself out. But
some people suggesting 2 with a retroactive game following the chicken wing.
What's that?
That's why he got the 3. They're going back to the wild game.
No, here's the other thing. I don't have much time. Like this, I was very... it was a phantom elbow. Johansson hasn't played since, has he? Like, there obviously was contact. The dude hasn't played. Like, why are we calling it a phantom elbow? There had to have been contact unless he's faking the IR. You know, I don't know. It's the other thing that got me fired up yesterday was everybody in this market being like, that bloody plug, Garland. Hey, check the numbers, idiots. Connor Garland would be 5th on the Oilers in goals and 4th on the Oilers in points. He's a plug. He's a smaller guy who made a smart play and got cross-checked in the face. That's just the truth. The only forwards on the Oilers that have more points than Connor Garland this year are Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. That's it. He's got more points than Nuge. He's got more points than Hyman, but he's a plug. Like, what do we do? We need to pump the brakes. It's not a great look for the market outside of the city. I'm sorry. It just isn't. I don't know. I was disappointed in the market yesterday. I get it. Everybody's fired up, but Connor McDavid deserved to be suspended. If you want to be pissed off about the one game more than he should have got, that's fine. But I think we took the conversation down some paths that just looked like a bunch of little pissy babies yesterday. You can't sit here and say you want him to stand up for himself, and then when he does, bitch about the way he's protected. I'm very confused by the conversation. Anyway, Tales of the North coming up. Your reaction to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up. In the end, what it does come down to,
well, Leon Draisaitl can now play for the Heart. I mean, without McDavid on the ice for 3 games, this is a chance to really hammer home that award, really, and grab it with both hands.
I was worried that this is going to hurt Draisaitl's heart because McDavid's going to come back and be so damn pissed he's going to go nuclear and destroy it.
Draisaitl really turns up, though, over the next 3 games. You can always come back to this stretch and say, look what he did without him.
Well, you know what else I thought was awesome yesterday? Connor McDavid cross-checks somebody in the face, gets suspended, and people are like, he shouldn't help the league with anything anymore. He's the guy who cross-checked somebody in the face. What is happening here? I just don't get it. He shouldn't go to the 4 Nations because he cross-checked? Because he cross-checked Garland in the face?
Yeah.
Because Garland was engaged in a battle in hell. Like, McDavid probably should have got a roughing penalty there, too. They should have taken both of them. Go back and watch it. Like, he did punch him in the scrum. I don't understand it. He deserved to get suspended. He got suspended, and now people are like, well, he should boycott the 4 Nations because they didn't call the interference penalty. Man.
Take that, Canada.
You have to be careful who we follow in this city, man. I'm just saying it. All right, we're way late for an update. Let's get to an update. We got Tales of the North on the other side as well. 780-218-9999. Jam-packed show still to come. Gage and Noodles. Mark Kilum is going to join us, head coach of the Double E. So we've got lots to get to as we work our way through the show. Let's get to the update right now. Tales of the North on the other side.
Ohio State Buckeyes captured college football's national championship, surviving a late Notre Dame fight 34-23. It's the school's 9th title. In the NHL yesterday, some good news for the Oilers on the out-of-town scoreboard. Kings fall to the Penguins 5-1. LA have dropped 4 of 5, while the Blues would top Vegas 5-4 in a shootout. Golden Knights, they've lost 4 straight. Wild, they snap a 3-game slide with a 3-1 victory over Colorado, and it was Utah 5 and Winnipeg 2. Oilers without Connor McDavid for the next 3 due to suspension will look to get back in the win column tonight. They host the Washington Capitals to kick off a 6-game homestand. Join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Coverage starts at 6 here on EST. Oilers and Caps, one of 8 games around the NHL later tonight. 8 games around the NBA this evening, including the Raptors back on the court when they host the Magic. And action will pick up again today at 5 in TGL Golf. 0-1 New York Golf Club with Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, and Cameron Young will go up against Atlanta Drive Golf Club, who have yet to play, featuring Patrick Cantlay, Billy Horschel, and Justin Thomas. Sports Update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers, and what better way than to give them a deal? Mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Club membership for a 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call us today to get that ugly broken windshield replaced or to start planning your winter and spring renovation projects now.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the buckets when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. To Tutti and Eric and all of the back end. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gavik and Gage. If it's a bumper to Coolbet to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We want to hear some hot takes and we want to hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I want to kiss away? He left the tie of fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about Atlanta Canes? Macramel, Rapaport, Dragger, and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him give impression. Does he go forth? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
6:38 on the Nielsen Show. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today. Flexible payment options, including do not pay for 1 year. 22 stores in 4 provinces. You can shop here in Edmonton, West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert Center as well. And, of course, at parisjewelers.com. That's a website that you can get everywhere.
I said, now do the rant again in Tales of the North character.
Oh, I've said, I've said what I needed to say.
But in that form, I think it would have communicated a lot
Tonight in the North, there will be blood.
You peasants. Wig and everything. Quill pen.
Oh, yeah,
That quill pen over there. Yeah. Really hammers home the point, you know?
It really does. You want this?
Exactly.
Local man with feather pen freaks out at others. All right, keep the text messages rolling in. 780-218-9999. Guys, there is a lot of ignored dirty stick play every game by every team. McDavid is only a big deal because he got caught. McDavid broke a rule and should be punished. I am only annoyed because officials do not consistently call these kind of penalties. Here's like NHL officiating is the driver of a lot of major issues. Mm-hmm. I also don't think that stars in today's game fear for their safety because they're not protected and it's open season and there's a bunch of elbows flying at their heads and 6 of the top 10 scorers in the league are on the IR because they're being abused so much. And that's just not how it is. You're delusional if you think it is. There's a difference between being abused and being hooked and held. I think it's a different conversation.
Well, speaking of different conversations, Bronx the Boilermaker says, LT, can you ask Dusty who the best all-time NBA player is, if you'd like to...
Are we talking from a scorer perspective or an all-round perspective? Not today. Not today.
I'm going to call you Jemco Fireplace from now.
Because I'm so fired
Napoleon.
up.
Yeah,
That's my new nickname.
Jemco. Hey, Jemco.
Jemco, get over here. Wait, where are you? Because I'm so fired up.
Yeah. You'll be a little lower on the cleaning schedule.
I'm in a great mood today, actually. Well, I wanted to say a few things, and I said
I think a lot of people are echoing your sentiment there.
No, but look,
two things can be true at once. Like it's not always black and white. And yes, the officials, there's a problem there, and that's But again, we all know this. None of this should come as a surprise. This is your NHL.
I listened to one person last night that said Tyler Myers should have not been a coward and he should have fought Evan Bouchard.
Yeah.
Hey, wouldn't that have been something?
Huh?
That's what he should have done. Should have dropped his gloves and jumped him. And then we'll have that conversation.
Evan was ready to go. I think that's what he said when he took the mouth guard. Do you want to fight?
You want to?
Bam.
You want to fight me? Smash.
Smash.
All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
One more from Library Pat. That rant makes my...
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be a good way to, why not?
Certain things, I guess.
Makes my day.
All right. Let's get into Tales of the North here. Alexander Ovechkin, the greatest goal scorer of all time, rolling into town tonight.
Handling Gretzky's garb as he will yesterday.
Oh, how dare he? How dare he wear the gloves of the great one? You know what? I hopped on, I saw that post and I went to look for replies because I knew there'd be some people who were angry. Okay. And there were some people like, how dare he put on Gretzky's gloves? I was like, obviously they opened it up for him. It's not like he went in and smashed the bloody glass in the Hall of Fame room and put them on.
That'd be great.
No, that would be something. That would be something. All right, here we go. Tales of the North to get you set for the Oilers and the Capitals tonight.
Who owns the North? Who owns the North? Show me!
A twig to the lips sees 97 out, though 3 games over 2 seems a little stout. Some would say the Oilers are the greatest team in the land. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Alexei Potras.
Tonight in the North, the reek of banishment will waft through the rafters of Rogers as Perros the Punisher has struck again. Connor the Cross-Checker, McDavid the Mischievous, now sits in the chair and watches as his mates go to battle without their condemned captain. The thousands in attendance will hear Chad or Bob from the press box above, promising revenge on Garbage League Garland when they meet again. However, the focus this eve must be on the most lethal weapon in the history of battle. The Great Eight seeks out the Great One to claim the crown of goal-scoring GOAT. Just the day before, Ovi wore the gloves of 99. But tonight, will he be man enough to drop them? These are the tales of the North, and may they be heard far and wide across this great land.
John Anderson Klingberg, somebody slap me.
He was speaking good yesterday, hey? John Anderson, hey?
John Anderson.
Feeling good, looking good.
That is the best he's felt in a long time.
Hip's never been better.
Yeah. All right, Tales of the North. Pretty fired up about that one. What am I, Jemco?
Well, it's a future Stanley Cup battle here, hey? There's two of the best in the land.
Some say Washington is the best in the land.
Some, yes, they are. No, they're not.
Others will say the Oilers are the best in the land. So yeah, we've got lots to sort through today. No doubt about that. Marshall to Dusty when Dusty says we're going to the game tonight.
Makes my day.
Man, if he would have hit you with that from the back seat, he would have gone off the road.
I would have pulled over and given him a hug because I would have been so proud. He does love Reed.
Daddy,
he loves
looks
Reed
at
show.
you in the rearview mirror. Makes my day.
All right, keep the text messages rolling in as well. 780-218-9999.
Corey B.
780-218-9999.
Laying out the handsome man draft here as well. He's got all the categories listed so far.
Does he have some?
Rugged outdoorsman, golden age, sexy voice, action star, bring home to mom, musician, red carpet look, athlete, topless, local media. That's a lot of.
Whoa, who is this?
Draft.
Corey B?
Yeah.
I'll make a note.
He's got them all.
I can go back and check his things later.
He's very excited about the handsome man draft.
It should be a fun draft.
Yeah.
All right, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We're gonna smash. Let's change 200 here before 7:00. Ovechkin's in town. Everybody's fired up about McDavid as well. We'll get into that. I got my list 21 through 30. We're gonna get to here right away as well. Guys, so yesterday, I forgot who it was, but they released a really neat stat that shows the last year between McKinnon and McDavid, they drew 90 penalties. This year on their pace to only draw 47 between the two of them. If that doesn't show that the refs are not calling penalties on star players, I don't know what does. Because, Dusty, like you said, this is not protecting players conversation, it's an officiating conversation. Well, that's what I mean. Like the 90 to 40, there's a conversation there. The 90 penalties on pace last year, 47 on pace this year. There's a conversation there. But calling the hooks and the holds and those types of things are a different conversation than protecting star players. And if we get those confused, I don't know how we can get those confused. Those are clearly two different conversations. There's the protecting star players and then allowing them to play freely are even two different conversations to me. When I hear protecting, I think about safety of these guys. I think they're relatively safe. Are they being hooked and held? I'm not going to argue that. But I think when we use the word protecting, it glosses over the officiating fact. Like it's just what you need is you know what you need to do? You need to put Matt Rempe on every single team. That's what you need to do. Goodness. All right. Do we want the list? I got to take off I can't do the list in.
No, get the quill, do the list.
No, this list is serious.
It is hot in here. I can't believe you're still sweater on as well. I mean, it is.
God.
Right?
I do have a t-shirt on underneath, but I don't know if I go
We're
t-shirt
baking
or
a bit.
I go
We're baking a bit.
no t-shirt, but back to this because these are so damn comfortable.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get to Jamie McLennan. We will continue this conversation on the McDavid suspension.
Bones asking if Wes McCauley makes the list.
For the handsome man draft? Maybe he does.
We got a lot of lists here.
All right. I love this one from the Naj. Guys, yesterday I realized I hate Vancouver more than Calgary. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I don't know. What is it?
I don't know what Vancouver did. Like, I do. Be mad at the Garland, the league, the officials. I mean, it's the officials that's Garland again. He would look great in orange and blue. And yes, it's great for the rivalry. It's very fun. I mean, he's going to have a raucous reception come Thursday, eh?
Oh, that'll be a good one.
From fans, players, and media alike.
I love a guy getting booed for taking a cross check to the face. He did not do the worst thing on the whatever. All right. Here's the list. Here's 1 through 20. I dropped this over the last few weeks, and with one of the guys on this list in town, I figured it was good timing to roll out 21 through 30. So my top 20 players of all time, and I'm planning on ranking, what is it, just over 8,000 players of all time. Gretzky, Mario, Orr, Howe, Messier, Yager, Crosby, Hasek, Ovechkin, McDavid, Lidstrom, Bossy, Phil Esposito, Patrick Waugh, Guy Lafleur, John Belleville, Paul Coffey, Ken Dryden, Ray Bourque, Doug Harvey. Very Hab-centric in that middle stretch.
People were talking.
But they have to remember the Montreal Canadiens have won the most Stanley Cups of all time and have been around for 100 bloody years.
Yeah, Turk Broda's got to find his way on this version, hey?
Turk Broda is not in the next stretch. If you have a name you'd like to see me include on the list at some point, please share it with us. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Naj says, it's saying that both got 3. Should have been 2 and 3 games. 3 and 3 is just a joke. I agree. We said that earlier. Yep. Myers should have been 3. If Myers is 3, I thought McDavid should have been 2.
But again, retroactive to the chicken wing the other night.
That's not included.
But isn't that funny? Isn't it? Like, imagine that's how it goes. And then something happens where it's like, well, we're going to go back to the last 5 plays that we screwed up and add them all on this time. Again, I wouldn't put it past the NHL.
I have no faith in that group. I do have no faith in player safety. Like, all right, Penner's Pancakes is predicting Brian Scrudlin as 29th on the list. No, there are 2 halves on the list today. Number 21 on the list, kicking off 21 to 30. Number 21 on the list, I'm going with Bobby Hull, who was the first NHL superstar I ever met in my life. He came to Cranbrook for a card show at the old Elks Hall. And it was the first time Cranbrook, this is when the card game, this was early 90s, the card game was big. We had like 2 hockey card stores. So they did a card show, and Bobby Hull came and signed.
Was he like the top
He was doing
top
autographs.
Gun there? Like
yeah.
Bobby Hull plus.
He was a big get.
Yeah.
And my dad was excited because Bobby Hull was a Hereford farmer. Like he had Hereford cattle. So my dad was like, we got to go talk with Bobby Hull. So
He's not going for the cards of the hockey. He's going to talk
He
cattle.
wanted to talk cattle.
Yeah, he wants to-
And I got an autograph from Bobby Hull. It's the first like I have my basement is a collection of memorabilia and autographs and all that stuff. The Bobby Hull one is the very first one I ever got. Sat on his lap, signed it. I mean, I would have been about 9 or 10. I guess it could still sit on a lap at 9 or 10. Yeah. Anyway, Bobby Hull, 5 50-goal seasons, a cup, 3 Art Ross, 2 Hearts, and a Lady Bing. And then, it's best players of all time in the NHL, but he did go over to the WHA after the age of 32 and drop 4 100-point seasons over there. But Bobby Hull, 21 on the list. Strong run of Bobbies here as Bobby Clark checks in at 22 on the list. 3 Hart trophies, 2 cups, 3 100-point seasons, a Lester B, a Selke, and 1 badass SOB, if you know what I mean.
Flin Flon bomber.
Bobby Clark would chop you in the ankle.
Breed him tough up there.
So Bobby Hull at 21, Bobby Clark at 22. Number 23 on the list, a guy that I did consider throwing in the top 20 when I was trying to sort through D-men and goalies and stuff. But Martin Brodeur comes in at 23 on the list. 4 Vezinas, 3 Cups, got the Conn Smythe, had a Calder, combined with his cohort to win 5 Jennings, is first all-time in games played between the pipes, 200 more than anyone else, more than 200 than anyone else. I think Marc-Andre Fleury is number 2.
And a sweet mask.
691 wins.
Yeah.
That's most all-time. And then this was one, I always remember this, I think on like Rock'em Sock'em 3 or 4, Don Cherry was going through unbreakable records. And one of the ones that he said was the 102 shutouts by Terry Sawchuk. And Marty Brodeur ended up with 125 career shutouts. So Martin Brodeur comes in 23 on the list. 24 on the list. Some people were like, I can't believe this guy's not in the top 10. He's like on every top 10 list that you ever see. I couldn't go any lower without having him on this list. Rocket Richard. The first to score 50. Only did it once, but he was the first to score 50. Did it in 50. 8 cups and a Hart trophy. Didn't win a bunch of Art, but didn't win an Art Ross, didn't win more than 1 Hart, but he had 8 Stanley Cups, 1 a Hart, and obviously 50-goal season goes a long way.
It's got to be Boom Boom Jeffrey on coming up next.
No, Boom Boom's not in the top 30. This is not a Habs bias list. This is just the greatest list of all time. The GLOAT.
Dit Clapper.
Nope. Stan Mikita. Stan Mikita is next on the list. Go look it up. 4 Art Rosses, I think. Couple of Hearts. Got a cup. Him and Bobby Hull. 2 Chicago Blackhawks legends. This was something that Abutsky brought up to me last week when he's like, I can't believe you had like Guy Lafleur ahead of Rocket Richard. That's the equivalent of putting like Patrick Kane ahead of Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita. But Stan Mikita finds his way onto the list at 25. The next 2 guys, I think, have to be back-to-back, and I was torn on which one to put ahead of the other.
Lacombe Drew also says Chris Terry and Kerry Brodeur to those Jennings titles. Text of the day.
Don't make me laugh. All right, so the next 2 guys, kind of hand in hand here. Joe Sakic at 26, Steve Yzerman at 27.
Cool story about Joe Sakic as well. I met a woman out at the Spruce Grove Brewhouse a couple years back doing the Monday and Thursday night football.
Okay.
She claimed to be Joe Sakic's wife.
What?
But she indeed was not. But she had us going.
She just randomly claimed she was Joe Sakic.
She wrote in her name, and I was like, Andrea Sakic. I'm like, hey, that's a unique last name. Are you any relation to Joe Sakic? She goes, yeah, that's my husband.
But
and I
she
was
said
like,
it
really?
like straight face?
Oh, she had me sold.
Are you sure that she's not married to another Joe Sakic?
And that could have been it, too. I never really pursued the investigation that far, but it's quite the play. That's my Joe Sakic story.
All right, so I put Joe Sakic slightly ahead of Steve Yzerman, but you can flip-flop these 2 guys. Sakic, I thought this was fascinating from Sakic. There were 17 seasons between his first 100-point season and his last 100-point season. 17 years. And that wasn't even like first season, last season. Like he played a few years before he got his first 100 points and played a few years after his last 100, but there were 17 seasons between his first and last 100-point season. So there's a level of consistency there that's pretty impressive. He had 6 100-point seasons, 2 50-goal seasons, 2 Stanley Cups, got the Conn Smythe, and did get a Hart Trophy, which Steve Yzerman did not get his hands on. Yzerman, 6 100-point seasons, had a couple of 60-goal seasons, 3 50s, got stuck in the Gretzky and Mario era where you weren't going to outproduce those guys, eventually would get his 3 cups, did win a Lester B. Pearson, but did not take home a Hart Trophy, did get himself a Conn Smythe. So Sakic and Yzerman, 1, 2, back-to-back. I don't care if you have Yzerman one spot ahead of Sakic. I mean, they're very close. Nash Osborne says Vincent Damphousse is probably next.
The former Shark. Joel's looking for Gilmore, Matt Sundin, and Wendell Clark.
Yeah, not there yet. Do we have
a long list.
There's not even a Maple Leaf on this list yet. Says something, I guess. Well, I guess one coming up. 28th on the list, Jacques Plante. Back between the pipes. 7 Vezinas, 6 cups, and actually won a Hart Trophy. After that run of the cups in the 50s, he won a Hart Trophy, I think, in like 62 when Montreal had lost some of their big boys. But Jacques Plante comes in at 28 on the list, followed by another goaltender, Terry Sawchuk at 29, 4 Vezinas, a Calder, 4 cups, career save percentage of .909, and the 2.50 goals against average. Was the all-time shutouts leader when he retired, would eventually only be passed by Martin Brodeur.
Cal in the Park says Dale Howardchuk should be ahead of Sakic and Yzerman.
I mean, Howardchuk was a phenomenal player.
Look, Cal, write your own list.
No, here's the thing. It's guys like Howardchuk that make me go, well, I got to do 31 through 40. You know, like it's Stastny. Stastny's got to be coming up here soon at some point. I can't. Howardchuk was insane. But Yzerman and Sakic, both Stanley Cups, Conn Smythes.
Bowen says Glenn Hall hater. Ryan from SK says Eddie Shore, ?
Eddie Shore's coming up, 31 through 42. Did Eddie Shore have 4 Hart Trophies? Or was it 4? Anyway, he's mentioned
in Slapshot.
I was circling around Eddie Shore last night. Just be known. He's close on the list. And then the final spot on this list. I understand, you want the cups and things along those lines. But I couldn't put Marcel Dion any lower on this list. Top 6 all-time in scoring. I think I have here 6 100-point seasons, but I think it was 8 or 9 100-point seasons. 5 50-goal seasons. 1 Art Ross. He didn't have a Hart, but he won the Lester B. Pearson back-to-back.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anybody. He must be the only person in the history of the game that won the MVP voted on by the players twice, but didn't get a Hart somewhere along the way.
And 9 games with the Denver Rangers as well.
Well, I didn't know that. Do you have him up? Was it 8 or 9 100-point seasons? I know it was more than 6. My notes here.
Hold up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 by my rough count.
8 100-point seasons. That's crazy. But I have a list here of other guys who will have to be coming up at some point, and it's a good list too. Some of the modern guys start to sort of trickle in here. So 21 through 30. Just to wrap up one more time. Bobby Hull, Bobby Clark, Marty Brodeur, Rocket Richard, Stan Mikita, Joe Sakic, Steve Yzerman, Jacques Plante, Terry Sawchuk, Marcel Dion. And the greatest list of all time continues. We're now 1 through 30, 31 through 40 at some point next week.
Lucas says, no John Van Beesbrook. Best mask in the history of the league and not on the list yet. Disgusting.
I believe they called him Beezer.
Beezer.
I used to draw his mask in school. Very cool mask. His head was inside a panther's mouth.
Well, just the way it was shaped, like the brand of mask. It was so tight to the head. It wasn't that...
Yeah.
Brodeur had a great one, too. I love Brodeur's. It was a minimalist take.
Yeah, just
he
the
just
devil
had the J,
and
it was pretty good.
Abutsky says 21 to 30's rock solid, and not only because Bobby Clark is my all-time favorite player. No bias on this list. All right, let's move on. We've got, and your reaction, of course, 780-218-9999. Jamie McLennan is going to join us next for Pro-Am Sports. We'll get his thoughts on the 3 games. Is there a difference between calling the rule book and then protecting star players in the National Hockey League? We'll get into that a little bit with Noodles just after 7 o'clock. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. Build an EST parlay for Coolbet tonight. Weekly confessions. Mark Kilum, head coach of the Double E, is going to be by around 7:45 as well. We'll get his thoughts on the schedule. A bunch of stuff to get to. Cody Fajardo has been brought in. What's that conversation like? How can he help the team? Lots of fun stuff to get to with Kilum. He'll join us around 7:45. Let's get to a sports update right now. Jamie McLennan on the other side for Pro-Am. Don't go anywhere. Hammer the thumbs up if you're watching over on YouTube today. Obviously a big one. Caps and Oilers tonight.
And we'll get you set for the Oilers and Capitals tonight as Edmonton kick off a 6-game homestand. Against Washington. One of 8 games around the NHL tonight, but Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will set you up with the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows coverage beginning at 6 here on EST. Oilers without Connor McDavid for the next 3 due to his suspension following Saturday night. Oilers getting some help on the out-of-town scoreboard last night as LA have now dropped 4 of 5 following a 5-1 defeat at the hands of the Penguins. Golden Knights falling in a shootout 5-4 to the Blues. Vegas have dropped 4 straight. It was Utah 5, Jets 2, and the Wild snapping a 3-game skid 3-1 over the Avalanche. Over to football, where the Ohio State Buckeyes captured the school's 9th national title as they would defeat Notre Dame 34-23 from Atlanta. Over to the NBA, 8 games around the association tonight. The Raptors hit the court when they host the Magic. Action picks up again today at TGL Golf at 5 o'clock. It'll be 0-1 New York Golf Club of Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, and Cameron Young, taking on Patrick Cantley, Billy Horschel, and Justin Thomas of Atlanta Drive for GC. They are 0-0 thus far. Coming up next, TSN's Jamie McLennan on McDavid's suspension and more from around the NHL.
I can remember back being an 11-year-old kid, about 75 pounds on the basketball court against the neighborhood bully, kicking his behind left, right, and center.
I call you when I need you, my heart's on fire.
When it was all said and done, he was a little upset, so he punched me in the mouth.
You come to me, wild and wild.
My uncles were over on the side, observing, talking amongst themselves, adult things.
When you come to me, give me a...
When he punched me in my mouth, I decided I'm running to my uncle. And you know what he did? He pushed me back to him. I went back and he punched me in my mouth again. I ran to my uncle, looking for protection. Needed Big Brother to protect me. He pushed me back again. And you know what I did? I faced him in the eyes and I said, my uncle's not going to help me. And I punched him in the face. Then I looked him in the eye and I said, then what? Now what? Now what? Now what are you going to do?
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone I ever met. Stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say.
704 on the Nielson Show. That is the Cavis Reed pump-up song, the remix, as performed by local band Whale and the Wolf. And you know what? Mark Kilum is going to join us at 7:45 today. If he plays his cards right and does something absolutely insane during his tenure as the head coach of the local football team, he too could have a local rock band sing a song about him one
Give
day.
us some red meat, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey? He's already started off with his
He did say-
explicitly tirade down south in Carolina. Hey,
Yeah, when we bring him on today at 7:45, I'm going to bring him in and say, Mark Kilum, you filthy bastard.
Yeah, earmuffs,
What's going
kids.
on?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Clean it up a bit.
There's kids listening.
I want him to just go off.
Just
Hey,
go
can you
off.
imagine? What's up, you?
Mark Kilum breaks the Big Lebowski's record of F-bombs in a 15-minute stretch.
I'm pulling for him.
The Nielson Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team. Cavis will not be there. www.southfortchev.com. They've got great deals here in January with up to $10K cash back to help pay off the holidays, which nobody is going to complain about. That'd be very nice. You can text us at 780-218-9999. One of you will win the text of the day for A&W, where they have sausage and eggers and bacon and eggers, two of them for $6 right now. It's a killer deal. And it's game day. So they've got that fantastic deal. Mama Burger and Fries, $5 at all local A&Ws. All right, let's get into our hockey insider today. It is Jamie McLennan, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Gear up for game day. Oilers jerseys, headwear, hoodies, and hats from Fanatics New Era 47 and Mitchell & Ness in stock now. Located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail on 128th Ave or online at proamsports.ca. All right, Jamie McLennan joins us on the show this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Noodles, no shortage of things to discuss here in Edmonton over the last few days. Oh, wait, just a sec, Jamie. Hang on, you might be muted or... Okay, we're good. Go ahead, Noodles.
How's the temperature in Edmonton right now? I know it's cold outside, but I think the fan base is pretty hot, I would imagine.
Heating up.
Yeah, I would say it got to the point where like the conversation started to get carried away and be about what it's not even really about yesterday. Everybody's fired up when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, watching Bob Stauffer tweet and get a reaction from Vancouver, fans and all of that. I mean, I thought 3 games was a bit rich. Yep. I really did. I think we all did. Now, Austin Matthews, being on a Toronto show, Austin Matthews got 2 for his cross-check on Darlene. I guess that was 4 years ago. The only thing I could think of, and I said, is maybe the league is trying to get a little bit harsher on punishment, regardless if it's a star or not. But that being said, Matthews got 2. I think that was kind of the same type of cross-check. And McDavid gets 3. Myers gets 3. So maybe there's some inflation attached to it. I don't know. Everyone's pointing out that Carson Soucy got 1 game. That was in the playoffs. And I said, to me, if that was playoffs, each of them get 1 game. I think that's just how I feel about it. I thought it was 2, so it's 1 game too much for me. But then, again, that's just my opinion on, how players, should be governed in those situations. But you got the bleeding hearts, I'll call them, that want to throw the book at everybody. So, people in Toronto were pointing out that Morgan Riley got 5 games for what he did on Ridley Gregg. But to me, that was more of a premeditated thing after an empty net goal. So, it's hard to tie a line to an exact, we'll call it offense. But I do think that and believe me, I played in the league. Star players do or should get preferential treatment a little bit just based on the amount of garbage they face on a nightly basis. So there certainly was no preferential treatment handed out on this particular penalty, we'll call it.
You are probably one of the foremost leaders in this conversation because aren't you still suspended by the National Hockey League? I mean,
I am,
You're
and
still serving.
I felt my love tap was a little rich for 5 games. But again, actually, I'll go back even to myself. I'm joking with that. I slashed Johan Franzen, but you look at the setting, you look at everything. That was in the playoffs. I was a non-factor in the playoffs. I played 18 seconds. It looked like they sent me in to do it, and he dropped like he was dead. And I remember, I think I've told you guys this, and I've talked to him since. He said, I just surprised him. I thought he was coming towards me and going to knock me out. He's 240 pounds. I'd still be laying there if he attacked me. And I was trying to provoke him to try and get a line brawl going because they were running Kiprusoff and Ginla was worked up and Damon Lankow was worked up because there was a lot of side battles going on. But basically, I took the brunt of that suspension for a lot of other garbage that went on in that game. And rightfully so, because like I said at the starting of it, I was a non-factor. So everything that tied, it was a perfect storm. Unfortunately, I got 5 games and I don't know, $150,000 fine, something crazy. And they'll never get the games out of me or the money. So there you go.
I'm looking at a couple of different elements of the conversation that popped up in town yesterday. One would be Myers 3 games, McDavid 3 games. People are talking about McDavid more in a heated battle, whereas Myers just straight up looked at Bouchard and sort of cross-checked him in the head. Do you see those as the exact same incident that deserved the exact same punishment, or do you think the NHL was like, look, let's just make it easy, 2 cross-checks to the head, 3 games?
Probably the latter, like both cross-checks to the head. I think they're looking at the result, not how it was provoked.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the difference is, when you look at him in a vacuum, it's a cross-check to the head, or we'll call it the face, because I think Myers was more egregious, but, just because of the setting. If you look at what led up to McDavid being frustrated is, yes, Ray Ferraro pointed out on the broadcast, like there was a bunch of there was holding penalties, there was you name it. There was a bunch of penalties that led up to McDavid's frustration, where Myers, that was just a nothing burger in the corner. Like, here, take this with you after the loss. That was just a weird transaction. But I think what the league is trying to do is be consistent, is regardless of who you are, it's a no-fly zone to cross-check somebody in the head. And I think that's kind of where they probably drew the line. And it would have been tough optically to go, okay, Myers, we're giving you 3 and we're giving McDavid 2, when you're literally saying the end result is still the same, a cross-check to the head. So I do see an argument there, but I also can see where the league is thinking, how do we justify one other than the other? Just saw it off and go. That's why I thought saw it off. Both. I don't think anybody would have had a problem with both players getting 2 games and let's move on with life. I just thought 3 was a bit rich. I didn't understand where that number came from, given that Connor had never been suspended in his life. This was a one-off thing. I don't know. I just thought that was a weird number for me.
Noodles, that suspension you're serving might factor in. Dusty's currently ranking every single player that's played in the NHL. You've yet to crack the top 30. So
yeah, I'm only 30 in, but there's like 8,000 more to go.
Perhaps if it wasn't for the suspension, you would have found your way this morning.
He'll be there somewhere.
I want to ask your thoughts, though, and Dusty did bring up, too, Connor Garland would sit pretty tight near the top on this Oilers team when it comes to points this season. A player that, has been referred to a pest, among other names that I'm not going to read on the air here this morning from our fan base. But is some of the frustration, too, that maybe the game has gone away from big, brutish toughness to, guys in turtlenecks running around the ice and pissing people off, and ultimately being the one that's able to play Thursday night when the Canucks visit here in Edmonton? Just speak to his game and the fact that, you hate going against these guys. They get you to a boiling point. But, man, if you find 1 or 2 of them on your team, you're laughing.
Well, the Oilers have one in Victor Arvidsson. I mean, Arvidsson is that type of player. I think I've said this before, and I say it respectfully, and I've even had Connor Garland come up to me and say, thank you for your comments. So one time on my show, I called him a mutt. I said, he's a mutt of a player, a bastard of a player to play against. And what I mean by that, and this stems, I don't know if you guys remember this. I think Cam Talbot was in net. Connor Garland scored a goal off his face when he was playing for Arizona against the Edmonton Oilers. There was a slap shot from the point. He was bothering Cam Talbot. It hit him in the face and dropped in the net. And I was like, God, that guy, like he's a thorn. He's a thorn in people's side. But I was like, people would love to have him on his team, because even in Arizona, he was a pain in the ass to play against. He's not a big guy. If you meet him physically, he's not a large man whatsoever. I'm talking like Derek Ryan's build type of thing, like really, a fit but smaller in stature person. But he plays hard and he pays a price to go, to the net. Now, how much of a price do people pay in today's world, where I played in an era where there was Darian Hatcher and Chris Pronger, where they legitimately just chopped wood in front of a net. It's never been easier to get to the middle of the ice in today's game because there's so much speed. You're not allowed to hook. You're not allowed to slash. You're not allowed to do a lot of the things that, refs let go, the league let go, 10, 20 years ago. But Garland is a thorn in the side. You're right. It's a turtleneck. That pisses people off. People hated Thomas Plekanec.
It's hilarious.
With this giant turtleneck. But, they're good players. They're just not on your team. So you're like, God, I hate that guy even more. So, I look at Garland. He's a skilled guy. He's hard to play against. But, if I was somebody when next time playing against him, maybe there is a comment or a stinky glove or maybe a fist attached to the end of that glove in a scrum to let them know that's a no-fly zone. Don't touch our guys. Because it used to be, I'm getting long-winded. In my day, Wayne, you played against Wayne Gretzky, Lemieux, some of these top players. You didn't go near them because there was a toll to be paid, right? And there's just no toll to be paid nowadays where you don't have McSorley and McLennan and Semenko and guys like that coming over the boards to go, yeah, you don't go near that guy or we're going to take your head off. It's just the game has changed, and I rightfully so in a lot of different facets, but I still believe in protecting stars in somewhat. There should be, some form. I don't know what that is. I don't have the answer, but the stars should be protected.
Yeah, that's
They're the face of the league.
That's where I wanted to go, because that was one of the things that kind of fired me up a little bit today, is because it led to this conversation in this market about protecting stars. When Connor McDavid, the star, had just cross-checked somebody else in the face. So, I look at it from a perspective of, I think there's a difference between, and you said it, in today's game, you can't really do it with their teammates. You also said, it's an easier league to play in now with getting to the middle of the ice, and there's some space there for these guys. So, is there a difference between, in my view, I view it as there's a difference between protecting stars and calling the game the way it should be called. You know what I mean? Just call the penalties. They just, that's the frustrating part.
Well, the other night in watching that game, and I was watching it, could have been, I guess my question is, there was a penalty going on. Garland was literally, he had him in a figure four. But I think the Oilers had the puck. So I don't know if a ref had their arm up or not. I didn't see, and I didn't go back. I should have for my research.
We kind of dove into that a little bit yesterday. There was no arm up. There was no
the arm. That's a missed call, obviously. Yeah. But to me, I think what Garland did is I'll take my chances taking 97 out of the game for the last 12 seconds or 14 or whatever it was, and have them play instead of 6-on-5, 5-on-4 minus 97, and I'll just put him in the kumite in the figure four here. And to me, if an arm should have at least been up, because they should have called the game. Calling the game, that's a penalty every day, and we wouldn't have seen that. We would have seen McDavid punch him or something. But I think if an arm goes up and the ref is screaming, you let him go or something, then maybe there's a different outcome of that. I agree with that. I do believe calling the game within the rule book, then maybe some of this gets avoided. The Myers on Bouchard, I have no idea what the hell that was. Bouchard either looked at him or said something, or I don't know. That was just a weird transaction. But I do agree. I just think the Stars, there is a light on Connor McDavid, and you could argue there's a penalty on Connor McDavid every shift. A little pop here, a little hook there. Now, people were saying to me yesterday, he got away with a little how's she doing in Minnesota on Johansson, where that was an accidental on purpose, maybe a little here, take this with you type of thing. So I don't know. I just think those guys get so much attention. They should get a longer leash than other players. That's just my personal opinion.
Great conversation, man. Where you at tomorrow? What's the schedule like this week? What are you working?
So I'm calling the Rangers Ottawa game tonight. So I'm in New York. I was in New Jersey the other day. I woke up and my hair was on sideways, so I put a hat on just to not upset everybody.
Were you not in New York last week? Did we not talk to you last week from New York?
Yes. I don't know what the hell's
the mule.
This is the thing. I was doing it last night. I did like some stats. You look at teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs, they played 28 home games. Like it's, and there's other, like the LA Kings have only played 17 home games. Like, and I'm looking at road schedules and scheduling and stuff. I called the Ottawa Senators game a 1:00 game on Sunday in New Jersey. They played the day before at 3:00 in Ottawa, didn't finish their shootout until 6:10 p.m., got in at 11:30 that night and played at 1:08 p.m. the next day. Like some of the scheduling in this league is insane. And to me, there's certain teams that have favorable schedules and others that don't and have to fight through it. It's another topic. We'll talk about it next week. But I'm in New York. I'm in Boston on Thursday, and then I get to go home and see my family. I'm released out of jail. So there we go.
Excellent, man. We'll catch up next week. All right. See you later.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Jamie McLennan. I was curious. I wouldn't mind seeing his hair. How bad was it?
He might work his way into the handsome man draft. Who knows? Hair or no hair, right? Like
handsome man draft. Next
you mentioned
Friday.
Flames and Blues the other. What was it? Just last week or whatever. They played twice in St. Louis, kind of a back-to-back there. When it comes to the wonky schedule,
back-to-back games on Tuesday and Thursday.
Hoping we won't notice.
Same two teams.
Just kind of squeeze that in there.
If I wasn't doing lock shop and betting on the games, I wouldn't have noticed. But I was just going through. I was just like, wait a second. We just bet because we had St. Louis. We had St. Louis as a winner in the first one, and I was like, this seems kind of strange.
The Kings thing is interesting because they are 14-3-1 at home. They're 500 on the road. So if their second half is home loaded here,
a lot at home,
that works in their favor, I guess, and not the Oilers. But
all right, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube, 6 away from changing 200, easy peasy. 1 away now. Let's go. Hammer the thumbs up on YouTube. Minimum 400 like show today. I mean, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot of you watching, and obviously a ton of you, much more listening over on TuneIn and iHeart and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. So feel free to chime in.
A big game tonight. 2 of the league's best. I mean, that's kind of taking the side cart back seat to the topics today, right? I mean, it's any other night or day. This would be.
I wanted to get to what makes the Cap so good with Noodles. He's seen him a bunch more than we have, but. Too much other stuff to discuss on an Oilers front with Jamie McLennan. Let's get into fired up right now for Gemco fireplaces. If you need it to be a little bit more fired up, I guess we're gonna do that as well.
Get to it, Napoleon.
Fired up. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years and are the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. All right, here's what I'm fired up about.
Changing 200.
Nice work, Brundon.
Fired up with that.
Brundon is running solo there today. Trev isn't even sitting next to him. Trev is sitting out watching the show in the dark out there, and Brundon's just running the show today. So good job, Brundon. Nice work. Can't wait to hear Changing 300, probably well before 8 o'clock today. Maybe even after this. I'm fired up about these stupid NHL suspension videos.
Okay.
I remember before we had them, we're always like, I'd love them to explain this to us. Now they explain them to us, and I'm like, this is a waste of time.
I love 1v8 in the playoffs. I don't love 1v8 in the playoffs. I hate 1v8 in the playoffs.
All they do is state the obvious. It's just like, and this is cross-checking.
Well, I like
he
how
was being held.
They set the play up first, which takes a long time.
Oh, yeah, lays it all up.
And we have determined that.
Yeah.
And you're like, well.
They haven't said, we compare it to this. This is what, there's no way that video does not provide any insight.
But then
into the behind the scenes thinking of why McDavid got 3 and Matthews got 2 and what's his name, Timo Meier got 1 in November.
But without any insight, and after describing the entire play as you're watching it with your eyes, there's that pause, and Connor McDavid will be suspended 3 games.
In summary, this is cross-checking. Yeah. Connor McDavid suspended 3 games.
And that's it.
That's it. What are we doing here? Even last night on the Reed Wilkins show. Great show yesterday. If you've not yet checked out the Reed Wilkins show, taking off like a rocket from 3 to 6 every single day here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Yesterday on their show, they were playing the breakdowns of the videos, like they played them.
Good.
And the one, it was just like, even though Tyler Myers told us that he did not intend to cross-check Bouchard in the face.
That's interesting.
Like, really? What did Tyler Myers say? What was like? He literally said, I didn't. He looked at Bouchard and he cross-checked him in the face.
Yeah.
Then he went on a call and said, that's not what I meant to do. What are you talking about?
Tyler Myers told us he was having a rough day.
Yeah.
Traffic on the way to the rink was outrageous.
He didn't sleep well last night.
That led him into a rage spiral. He cross-checked Evan Bouchard. Tyler Myers is suspended 3 games.
They're just an absolute waste of time. You know what would go a long, long way?
Don't get rid of them.
With hockey fans is if the officials came out after the game and explained why they didn't call any sort of penalty. Even if you feel like McDavid accidentally fell on Garland, then Garland did have him in like the figure. He had his legs up wrapped around him.
Yeah.
Then they get away. Then McDavid's on top briefly, punches him. Then Garland gets on him again. They could have taken both. Like McDavid did punch him at one point during the skirmish when he did, but then after that he laid on top of him.
A ballyhoo, I think.
But here's what frustrates me the most about the NHL officiating. If that play happened with 12 minutes left in the first period, there's a penalty of some sort. But from a game management perspective, the officials are sitting there going, final 30 seconds. Well, this is what I always say. The whistles are away.
They put him away.
Why in the hell are we just justifying putting whistles away in the most critical moments of hockey games?
Let them play.
What is this?
Let them play.
Got to put the whistles away now.
Let them
It's
play.
late. What are we doing?
That's how we used to do it on the pond.
That's why that penalty, like guaranteed they would have called that if it was midway through the first. But they don't because the whistles are away late, which means in the most critical moments of the game, they officiated differently than other moments of the game. How does that make sense? That doesn't make, imagine it your job. If like you're very particular about things and then in the biggest moments you're like, well, let it slide. How do you think that would go over? Like it just, I'm legitimately fired. I'm getting sweaty. I'm so fired up. I'm getting sweaty.
You got to take that sweat. You got a t-shirt under there. You got to at least go
but
one.
I love this.
But one or the other. One or the other. Sweatshirt or t-shirt. One or the other.
What's this? My oot.
It is
my
hot.
outfit
it
of the
is
day.
Very hot in here.
It's sweaty.
Like,
in here.
it is.
It's sweaty in here.
Somebody said it's minus 97 out, but I ain't feeling it. Officials should have to do media. They should all shove the name bar on the back of their right. I want to know who you are.
Look, if you're going to be one of those officials that tries to say funny things and steal the show, should have your name bar on the back.
Yes.
Mercy Flush for you says Dusty's cooking for that golden mic. I forgot about the golden mic.
Yeah. How much have you paid Garland to initiate this and then leave you ranting about it?
Thank you, Connor Garland, for the golden mic opportunity. No, but how pathetic is that? That in critical moments, they put the whistles away, and you're just like, oh, the whistles are away. They can't call that now. Yes, they can. It's a penalty. Call it. God. All right. Let's continue with the show. That's fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, your exclusive dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need available at Gemco. 9281 50th Street. I'm sure the crew at Gemco would love you rolling in there and having
Ranting
a similar
about
rant.
this.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, unsolicited. Just walk in and start off.
I heard this is where I'm supposed to come when I'm fired up. I mean, whatever. Let's get bodies in the door.
Take a number
at Gemco, right? Like that's what we're here for. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Let's keep that rolling. 300 is within sight now. We're 69 away. All right, let's get to our Coolbet hotline of the day. We got Mark Kilum coming up. That'll be a nice little cool down opportunity.
You can ask him his thoughts on the 3-game suspension.
So what do you think? Actually, thought he should have got more. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You're done here.
Uh-oh.
Remember when Mark Kilum got fired for thinking McDavid should have been suspended for more games?
He's coming in for the golden mic.
Let's take a look for Coolbet Canada. Oilers and Capitals tonight. We do have player props are up, so let's build a little EST parlay confessions on the way as well. That'll be coming up. The Edmonton Oilers are a minus 139 money line favorite at home tonight. The total in this game is set at 5.5. The Washington Capitals, despite with Ovechkin having a pretty good season, not a team that's going to blow you out of the water offensively, knock on wood. But the total tonight is set at 9.5. Our EST parlay, no McDavid. This is a dry side. We haven't even got, this is how busy the show's been. We haven't even got to who gets in the top 6. So we'll save that for 3 questions today. Hey, usually we do a whole show on a top 6 conversation.
Well, there's only so many combinations. I think on X yesterday they went through all of them on your tweet.
Pretty sure those replies.
I don't know if there's one that I haven't seen, but we'll go over every single combination that could happen.
All right, Oilers money line. Draisaitl. What's Draisaitl over 1.5 points tonight? Plus 114. It's got to be. This is a Draisaitl spot here, right?
No, he wraps up the Hart Trophy this week. We will look back at this week.
All right, so Leon Draisaitl over 1.5 points, Oiler money line, and let's mix one more in here. What do? We do a Bouchard point, minus 180, a Nuge point. Let's go. Man, I wish I knew what they were going to do in that top 6. Like, why would you would just leave Leon with his current line mates, don't you think? And then play Nuge in the middle with Hyman and
I don't think you need to
Skinner or
reinvent the
Kapanen
wheel
on the
here or
left
anything.
side.
Yeah, sure. You can go a little wild if you like, I guess. We always have time to paint a picture, but...
let's go Oilers. This won't be a huge number, but I think it's a good... Let's go Bouchard point, Draisaitl 2 points or more, and then an Oilers money line win.
Yeah, we're all forgetting about Evan here, fired up after taking that cross check too. He'll be, we're all talking.
He's going to be pretty. He's going to be pretty good, right?
Point to prove.
Yeah. All right. So Leon Draisaitl over 1.5 points, Bouchard with a point, and the Oilers on the money line somewhere in that 2 to 3, probably around 3 to 1, maybe when it's all said and done. I think, but I like it. Draisaitl 2 points, Bouchard a point. Oilers money line tonight at home against the Washington Capitals. That'll be your EST parlay. When it is posted, it'll be on the exclusives page over at Coolbet.com. So you go to Coolbet.com, look down the left side, you'll see exclusives. You click on it. There's an Edmonton Sports Talk parlay section. Click on that. That's where you'll find the bet. And if you're not yet signed up for an account at Coolbet, use the code LOCKSHOP when you do, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. LockShop Poker Series event number 5, I believe, going down next Wednesday night. Put that in your calendars and smoke it.
Is that also the staff meeting evening?
No, that's the Tuesday.
That's
night.
the Tuesday. Man, that's a week,
Tuesday
eh?
night. Yeah.
We'll be eating Popeyes. Popeyes will be coming out of our ears.
That's going to be a great week next week. RCN is in and says, guys, did I miss 21 to 30 yet? Yes, you did. You have to scroll back. Or Bobby Hull, Bobby Clark, Marty Brodeur, Rocket Richard, Stan Mikita, Joe Sakic, Steve Yzerman, Jock Pond, Terry Sawchuk, Marcel Dion. 21 through 30 on the gloat. The greatest list of all time. All right, let's get to an update for Park Mazda. Confessions on the other side. What do we have to confess today? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Or hit us up in the nasty chat with your confessions as well. Penner's Pancake says, just wait until the Oilers win all 3 and then the trade Connor talk starts, which sounds insane. However, if they win all 3 in impressive fashion, I guarantee somewhere on Edmonton Sports Talk, we will see a text or a comment from somebody saying, guys, what do you think instead of signing? What could you get for him to round out the roster?
Yeah, imagine if they have a fast start this evening against one of the league's best.
McDavid is the reason they've been starting slow.
I mean, that's the simple math.
Oh, the takes, man. The takes. All right, weekly confessions on the way for Spectrum Rental. What do you have to confess? 780-218-9999. Let's get some fun confessions in there, hey? And hammer the thumbs up over on YouTube. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Sports Update with Lieutenant Eric for Park Mazda.
Oilers Capitals tonight, one of 8 games around the NHL, featuring 2 of the hottest teams. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, they'll get you set. The GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows come your way at 6 o'clock here on EST. Oilers without Connor McDavid for the next 3 due to suspension. We'll look to get back in the win column as well. It's kicking off a 6-game homestand for Edmonton, who will take on Vancouver Thursday and Buffalo on Saturday. Action last night, pretty friendly out-of-town scoreboard for the Oilers. LA falling to the Penguins 5-1. The Kings have dropped 4 of 5. Also Vegas dropping one in a shootout 5-4 to the Blues. Golden Knights have lost 4 in a row. Utah topping the Jets 5-2, while the Wild would snap a 3-game slide with a 3-1 victory over Colorado. On the gridiron, the Ohio State Buckeyes captured college football's national championship. They survive a late Notre Dame fight, 34-23 your final. It's the school's 9th national title. 8 games around the NBA tonight, with the Raptors back on the court when they host the Magic. And action picks up again in TGL Golf this evening at 5. Atlanta Drive Golf Club will play their first match, featuring Patrick Cantley, Billy Horschel, and Justin Thomas, up against the 0-1 New York Golf Club. which features Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, and Cameron Young. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he also has a gloat, but he's looking at getting it lasered off.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Feel like he's dreaming, all the fans are screaming. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. Wanna see him dangle Ryan Suter. Strome. Wanna see him be 97 shooter. Yeah. Strome. Wanna see that smiling face. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. That's a very, very good thing.
We know this sexy old lady named Renee, baby, who likes to wear men's jeans. She's got a Ryan Strome Road jersey, and it's bursting right at the seams.
Now this song's designed to blow your mind, but your minds won't really be blown. Like the blow you'll be feeling at Rogers Place, screaming, it's another goal for Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. Wanna see him dangle Ryan Suter. Strome. Wanna see him be 97 shooter. Strome. Wanna see that smiling face. It's another goal for Ryan Strome.
It's a very, very good thing. His brother in town tonight.
Yes.
So I mean, I was stretching it a bit.
I know.
But I figure we can make it work.
I think you're goal 6 helpers in his last 10 for one Dylan Strome, centering that top line. 4 good lines, really. But that Protoss, who was mentioned in Tales of the North, PLD and Tom Wilson, that's the line.
Yeah, if you missed Tales of the North today, she's a beauty. We might run her back for the sound of the day. It was a good one. If you're watching on YouTube, very convenient. You can just scroll back if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart. You can listen to the podcast later on and find that, or hop over on YouTube and see it. And while you're there, hammer the thumbs up for us and sub to the channel as we make our push towards 11.2K. Another great day of shows coming your way. We'll have the Hangout. YouTube Trev's going to be on the Hangout today.
Yes.
With Jasmine and Maddie. Tommy will be down to the rink getting ready for the game tonight. We'll have the Lock Shop. We'll have 2 guys and a goalie. Cass will be back today. He was off last week. EST Afternoons with Gage and Hernan. And then from 3 to 6 today, the Reed Wilkins show. That'll lead right into pre and post with Tommy Gazole, GCL Diesel pregame show. So don't go anywhere. We have you covered with, what are we going to have today? Between pre and post, and we're going to have like 14 and a half live hours of sports talk today on TuneIn or iHeart for you. So.
We'll fit in the Santander acquisition somewhere in there, hey?
Well, at some point.
We'll shoehorn it in.
You know what? Got buried under the McDavid suspension. That's just what happened.
Well, that's
all right. We are coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio, where they have the $4 value menu available for you right now at all Popeyes locations. All right, let's get into Kevin on the YouTube. Says, what channel on TuneIn? Just search Edmonton Sports Talk on TuneIn, Kev, and you will find us right there. All right, let's get into Weekly Confessions, brought to you by Spectrum Rental. Boys must have sent a liner in today. Hey,
oh, yeah. Yeah, they're in there. They're in there.
The inbox has been taking a good old-fashioned pounding here today.
Bit of a licking.
There we go. Weekly Confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to having to suspend a couple of construction heaters because, like McDavid, they got a little bit too hot. Arrange for your construction heat with Spectrum Rental. I like that. The heaters are working so well, they had to sit them down for a bit. Construction heat. I guess that's a pretty important part of the work site.
He could just rent you. You're hot enough today, I think. Go stand by Dusty over there.
I'm at least 28 degrees today.
You are burning up.
That's how hot I am.
Glasses are fogging up.
Fogging up because of the hotness.
You got to take. How are you not too sure? Like I am boiling. I just got the glue guy.
As they say in the biz,
here,
sweaty boy. Sweaty boy. You know what? I got my EST, my blue EST shirt on underneath. Maybe I'll go that. Maybe I'll go to that next.
It's not just me, is it? Like I know the lights in here and everything, but it is it's sweltering.
T-Mac, the rugby guy. Send your confession, 780-218-9999. T-Mac, the rugby guy, says, guys, I confess I usually bet 97 over 1.5 points when I bet. Versus Vancouver, I picked under by accident and cashed it. That's a tough one.
Yeah, right? Go under tonight as well.
But that's tough. That's a tough one. Eric, what are you confessing today, buddy?
Well, I confess I don't normally say goodbye to the staff here when I leave every day, and it's kind of wearing on me as of late.
Really?
Well, I don't
you
like
don't
saying
like
goodbye.
say goodbye to anybody.
No, because it's kind of weird. I like
Sometimes
saying
I'll
hello.
see you leave and I see you give me a little look.
I give you a look.
Yeah.
But I hate going around the office. Is that wrong of me? Like, I hate going up to goodbye. You know, two people are in conversation. I'm leaving now. I just don't feel like if somebody has something to say to me, you know, they'll say it eventually, or they can wait till tomorrow. I love saying good morning. I say good morning. You know, Brandon walks in. We say good morning. We have a good chat. Right? Trevor walks in. I say good morning, Trevor, every morning. He uses his full name.
I like to say morning, boys.
Yeah, I say good morning too. I look at you. I nod.
Yeah.
I like saying good morning, but I confess I hate saying goodbye. I don't even like saying goodbye to my parents or family, friends. It's too weird.
Like to actually say goodbye. Like when I walk out of the office, I'll say, see you later, boys. Have a good show today, you know?
Yeah, I don't even like doing that.
You do like a general holler to the office.
Yeah, but then
so you just get up and walk out.
Yeah, I do.
Weird.
I grab my stuff and I leave. Well, I just when you do the see you later guy, then what? Nobody responds. Then it just feels weird. I'd rather just walk out.
There's a lot of people in the office.
Not necessarily.
I'd probably say, see you, Rick.
Just to me.
Yeah.
But to a group.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not going to walk by everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.
You should do the song from Sound of Music. So long, farewell, Avita saying goodbye. I have to go to bed.
You know, when we go out on the town, I just like to leave.
You like to ghost. You're a ghosty guy.
But is that's not... I just wanted to confess that I have nothing against anybody.
Well, that's good.
It's not malicious.
Yeah. You're not intending to look like a jerk when you walk out and say goodbye.
Not at all. Me not saying goodbye is just a see you later. I assume I'm going to see you again.
780-218-9999. What do you need to confess today? I like Jilly G. Says, Lieutenant Eric can't say goodbye, and Trev can't say hello. What is going on over there? Yeah, Trev's not good with the handshakes. He's a handshake. He has a handshake problem.
But he says hello in the morning.
Yeah.
That's all cordial. And
I have two confessions. One, I missed Gager yesterday. Makes me sad when Gager's not in studio. Yesterday he did EST afternoons from home. He had a bunch of stuff going on.
You wear slippers around, don't you?
When Hernan came over, I said, "Where's Gager?" He goes, "All right, he can't make it in today. He's going to do it from home." And I instantly got a little bit heartbroken. I got sad. Gager's he's a great room guy, as they say. Mm-hmm. And I was sad yesterday when Gager wasn't around.
Well, he fires up that toaster oven. He's got his financial game going on in the office.
There's so many investing for people and stuff.
Only one that uses a stand-up desk here.
I hear him over there all day going, buy, sell. I'm like, what's going on over there? That's one of my favorite Tracy Morgan skits on SNL. Remember he lived in the sewer? And I think Britney Spears was down there with him or something.
I just love
a funny bit.
Martin Prince, when his dad gives him the money to put in the stock. Soy! You got greedy, Martin.
I don't remember that one. My other confession is that, I did choose Notre Dame as my college football team of preference. I never have really become like a hardcore fan, you know? I don't necessarily watch their games. I use them on the college football game because I had kind of chosen them as my fandom. But I don't know. I feel like I've undercommitted to Notre Dame as a fan, which is why I am considering entering the college football fan transfer portal this offseason.
Linking up with Bronny at Ohio State.
Well, but that's KD losing to the Warriors after having a 3-1 series lead and then going and joining the Warriors. Like, I don't think I can be that guy either.
I think Notre Dame, too, it was a huge 90s brand, right? Those pullover starter jackets.
Well, the movie,
like,
Rudy.
Well, Rudy, too. But
I just always want to watch that team now and say,
Fighting Irish,
he's so
the logo.
little.
Yeah, everybody's
so
kind
little.
of, you get swept up in the hoopla of it all. But then you're standing there decked out in Irish gear and you're like, I don't feel
I have an Irish hat and I have an Irish hoodie.
but you don't feel a thing. It doesn't make it move, and that's the thing. There's no emotion behind it.
I guess this is what happens when you do a bit where you're going to choose a team and not just let something naturally come to you. You know?
The song. To you is the song. The
It was a
song
good
moved
song.
you. That was the one thing that got you and hooked you, but it's got to be more than a song. And you didn't go to any of the.
And how can this not hook you, though?
Stand up and salute.
This is why I chose to be a fan, just because of these 20 seconds here. That is goosebumps. I mean, look at that. I mean, you picked that team too if it was put forward like that. You know,
I didn't.
I got sucked in by that.
You should just stick to Lethbridge College. That's where you went. That's your alma mater. Cheer for that team.
It's not even the same name anymore either.
You guys have a 6-man?
I was the Lethbridge Community College alum. Then it became Lethbridge College, and now I think it's called Lethbridge Polytechnic or something like that. So I can't even own that. Anyway, whatever. That's my confession is I didn't become as much of a Notre Dame fan as I thought I was going to be when I committed to them. So I wasn't like devastated when they lost last night. So I apologize to any of the hardcore Notre Dame fans that I was faking.
Well, at least you didn't take the day off work.
Yeah, that would suck. All right, this guy probably hasn't taken a day off work since he got hired. Hey, let's get into. We haven't had a chance. He's been on the station. He's been on a few of the other shows, but we haven't had a chance to catch up with him yet. And I thought a nice opportunity to catch up with the new head coach of the Edmonton Elks, Mark Kilum, joins us. I'm sure somewhere right now he's sitting next to a big board with just players' names everywhere. I think that's how coach. He must have one in his house. Let's bring in Mark Kilum this morning. Mark, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good, fellas. How are you?
Good. Do you have a big depth chart somewhere in your house right now?
I got a billion pieces of paper that have depth charts on them, but in my office, I have a big board that has all the magnets on it, so that I can see all the names.
Yeah, it's always like a scene in Moneyball. That's how I always imagine it with the
different
magnets,
colors and
throw it
magnets,
on there, and that's how I would approach it. I think that would be great. You watched the Ohio State Notre Dame last night? Like, are you start to finish NCAA football championship game guy, or do you check in on it a little bit?
No, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. I don't get to watch a ton of football like when obviously our season is going on. And then it takes me, there's like this down tempo period where I don't want to watch any football. And then when the playoffs start and the bowl games start ramping up, I get back into it. But I watched it. They battled, ran out of time there, but credit to Ohio State. I mean, they were a juggernaut throughout the college football playoff for sure.
Yeah, through the playoffs, they really sort of got her going pretty impressively.
Is there a school, too, that you follow down south, like just kind of for fun? I know this is a professional thing for you watching a lot of these bowl games and such, but you're a U of A grad in any place you go down in terms of, color scheme or anything that catches your eye when it comes to the college teams?
Not really. I kind of like, I used to be a diehard Steelers fan when I was growing up. Okay. And I have every outside linebacker's jersey from like a 10-year span, like starting with Greg Lloyd, Joey Porter, Jason Gilden. I got all those guys. But, I kind of got out of it once coaching really became my focus. And then I just became like a casual fan of good football.
What's the last month been like for you since you got this job? And I'm sure it's been a little bit of a whirlwind, but how have you handled it?
Yeah, I mean, really since, I don't know when I got hired, ended November, I haven't really stopped. I haven't had more than like 2 consecutive days where I haven't had something going on. So I just came back from the league meetings, which were good, and we're promoting the league down in Charlotte. And then I immediately, as soon as I got home, I had about 6 hours in my house for that night. Then I drove out to Canmore to support my brother-in-law in the Hockey Day in Canada. He's the head coach GM in Canmore. So just there was events going on, a lot of action-packed living for myself and my family. But it's good. It's what I wanted to do. I got to try to, I don't want to go this hard all the way into the season because I'm an energy guy and I need to have balance myself out a little bit. But things are lining up. That's what it takes when you take over that. I mean, really, that program, everything in Edmonton was in transition. So I mean, it's not just the football side; it's the video side, it's the training side, it's the strength and conditioning. So all of those things. We've got our hands in everything, and we're trying to really align not only what we think on the football side, but with everything throughout the building. I'm still going through, I try to, every time I'm in the Commonwealth Stadium, I try to go through the admin and continue to talk to people up there, and I want them to feel the energy that I have for the program. And so that takes work, and there's really no other way around it. I'm not afraid of hard work, but that's it's been a whirlwind, to say the least, for the last month and a half.
You got your work cut out for you, Mark, and I think we've heard from our listeners and viewers. They're trying to match your intensity and excitement, which is hard to do, obviously. But it just seems like this is quite an opportunity for an organization to really mash that reset button from the top all the way down. And you mentioned you're still looking, obviously, as you should be, players and whatnot, as Dusty mentioned. But when it comes to the coaching staff now, that's pretty filled out. I just wanted your thoughts on specifically a guy like Jordan Maximic coming in and how important that is for you. I mean, you've obviously been coaching. You're no stranger to the sideline, 3-time Grey Cup assistant down there in Calgary, but what's it like going to have a guy like Jordan as your AC type of thing on the sideline, and how important is it maybe for people who aren't familiar with the offense he was running in BC to have him riding shotgun with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of our staff. I really, really like our staff. They all bring different things. First of all, they're extremely high character men. They're a bunch of guys that care about football and care about the community. They're proven coaches that know how to get the most out of their players, put their players in positions to succeed. So as a player, that's exciting. Your skill set's gonna be put to the forefront so you can showcase what you can do. But specifically talking like a guy like Jordan, I mean, his resume is out there with the quarterbacks that he's worked with. He was our number one. He was, if I could have just chose a guy that was coming available, he was the number one guy that I wanted to run the offense. He's got ties to the community in Edmonton and St. Albert. And, it was a perfect fit, and we wanted an offensive coordinator that we felt like could develop Trey. That was, obviously very high on the list, and that's what Jordan's going to do. And, he's already spoken with Trey a lot. We've had thoughts on the offense and how we want to do that. You pair that with, a guy like Steven Sorrells, who, did some really, really good things with the running game last year. You bring Tuck in on that side of the ball, who's obviously, local legend, but has been working in Jordan's system, which will help Jordan spend time more time with Trey versus trying to coach up a brand new offensive staff. And then, the guy completing the piece on the offensive side, Tristan Dice, young Canadian coach, U Sports kid, son of Bobby Dice, who I've got a ton of respect for. But, Tristan's making his own way. And, that offensive side, that offensive staff, there's some really good pieces on it.
We were talking about it before we went on the air today. And I said, the one thing I wanted to talk with you about, the last 4 to 5 years, you kind of like a buzz name when it came up for like head coach here, head coach there. And you stayed in Calgary, and then Calgary happens this year, and the shine kind of was off of everything down there. Did you worry at all? You're like, oh man, I might have missed my window here at all. Like, what was your mindset coming out of that year, and then to all of a sudden just boom, get like a real juicy job here in Edmonton? What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, you do think about that stuff a little bit. You have good years in coaching, and your name comes up, and you think opportunities might come up, but those head coaching opportunities are very, very difficult to get. You can have all the things, but if you're not literally the exact person for whatever reason that lines up with the person that's making the decision, you just won't get that opportunity. So they're very difficult to get. So you do think about it a little bit. Dustin, I did think I was going to land on my feet. My resume is what it is. It's, I've got a long-standing resume. I did have, I'm not a bad dude. So, I feel like, character-wise, my connections in the CFL, I would have opportunities to work with other people on other staffs. But you just don't know. I mean, there's a lot of unknown in professional sports, and you don't know when you're going to get these opportunities, or if you're even going to, if they're the top ones are going to come up. That's why I was so excited that it did, and not only for the opportunity, but just because of what a great opportunity it is. I've spoke on it so much that when you have a reset with a new ownership, with a new president and Chris, new general manager and Ed, and then myself coming in there, and we all see things the same way. So you're a vertically aligned organization. I mean, that's really, really exciting to be a part of, because first thing, you can get things done right now. You can get things done because you see it the same way. It's exciting to come to work and share ideas and just bring that passion, because they have the same passion. Like when you hear Chris speak and you hear Ed speak about the green and gold, you know that's for real. And, I'm just excited to be a part of that for sure.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned when you hear Chris speak, because we've joked about it since we first had him on the show, like 10 years ago. When I was doing play-by-play for the Golden Bears.
You wanted to go to college.
I was like 31 at the time. I was just like, my God, I want to go be an offensive lineman for Chris Morris. Like, I'll do anything this guy wants. He's very passionate. I totally understand the buy-in that people should have when you're around Chris Morris. He's just an absolutely wonderful guy. A couple of other places I want to go. The schedule. I mean, we were waiting for the schedule. We finally got the schedule. We going to go through it and look at the matchups. As a coach, what do you think of Week 2, Week 7, Week 18 bye? Like, do you like the way your schedules come together this year?
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, you would always everyone would pick their own perfect schedule. Yeah. But you always look at time in between games for recovery for the players. I think that's important. So as far as that's concerned, I feel like it's a pretty good schedule. That we do have a 10-game run in the middle of the schedule, including 2 back-to-back East games, which is like in the 8th or 9th in that 10-game stretch. But, I mean, that's on us as coaches and us on as training staff to make sure we're managing the players the right way and making sure we're taking care of their legs. But, I mean, bottom line is I'm excited. I don't really care. I mean, you could put all the games in. I want to get after it. I'm excited about the way it lines up. I like the end of the season. We got a bunch of West games back to back. Those are going to be carrying a ton of meaning down the stretch, which is exciting for fans, and it's exciting going into the playoffs. And I mean, Week 2 bye. Is it the best? Probably, I don't know, but it's a chance early in the season for the guys to get a reset after camp and going right into Week 1. They can make sure their living situation is taken care of, kind of have a reset. The coaches can have a reset, and then really get after it after that.
Mark, we do have a Stamps fan listening this morning. Smitty the Welder says, as a Stamps fan, I'm going to miss you, Mark. Sure wish you were coach of the Stamps. Listening to Mark, I'm so pissed that he's gone from Calgary. 3 angry emojis. So you've hit a toe not only here, but also there. So that's always good to hear. I want your thoughts, too. I asked you about McSimic and how important his addition was to your staff. You've also gone out, and we did get a CFL tampering window made here that we can, whenever we talk about
this
tampering.
This is our CFL tampering window.
But you've... with the teams, and
it's got the teams. It's a window. One of our partners made it for it. It's the only one in existence, Mark. So we're pretty proud of the CFL tampering window.
But you've already got Cody Fajardo over the line, which I think the Trey Ford conversation was signed and sealed, and then it's who's going to be the backup, and we were discussing that for a couple of weeks. But just your thoughts again. Cody Fajardo almost coming in here, the route he's taken, the success he's had. You've almost got a player type of coach now as well for Trey, who exhibits the same characteristics and style of play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think that we should talk about it more because of how important Cody's going to be for us this year. I mean, we were really, really, really excited that went down the way that it did. Bringing Cody into the building. First of all, Cody's a really good football player. That's first and foremost. The guy has an ultra high compete level. He's a tremendous professional. The thing I really respect about him is the way that his career path has gone. You kind of just mentioned it right there, but I mean, the guy's had to fight and claw, and I respect the hell out of guys like that. I mean, it's not everybody gets this like golden pass. Guys got to earn it some different ways, and he certainly has. I mean, he was playing special teams. I've coached against him when I was coaching special teams. He was playing on the punt team. You know what I mean? That's the path that this guy's gone to Grey Cup MVP. So to bring a guy like that into the building with his experience as a player in all those different challenging situations, but also he's played in the same system. Jordan is an offshoot of the Jason Moss system. So, I mean, he's, the terminology will be similar, skill set wise, similar to doing some of the things that Trey can do. So, I mean, it's really exciting. Jordan coaches from the box on game day. So there's the other part of it. Now, Cody's on the sideline. Trey can come off, and he's got a physical presence right there that can talk to him, about what's going on. So I think there's so many layers to why that was such a good signing for our football club. And, I'm just really excited to get after it with him. And the conversations I've had, he's excited. He wants to compete. He wants to push, and he wants to support Trey. And those are all positive things for the Double E.
I've got to know Cody a little bit, calling games for TSN over the last 5 years, and he's just a good dude. Like, I just look forward to chatting with that guy when we're doing his games. He's comes across as just an absolutely wonderful guy. So definitely somebody you want around your organization. Mark, we really appreciate the time today, man. This was great catching up with you, and we'll certainly do it again. And if you need any help with the CFL tampering window, we got you, okay?
Appreciate it, guys. Anytime.
See you later, man. There you go. That's Mark Kilum. If that guy can't get you fired up for a new season of Double E football, man, I mean, what are we doing here?
Kept it G-rated, which was nice.
Yeah,
you could tell that you could tell that he wanted to go over the line a few times, I think. Oh, yeah.
We were waiting.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's good that he shows us more respect than the CFL meetings. I appreciate that. I really do. The Jay over in the Nasty Chat says, because of Chris and Herv and Mark and Trey getting re-signed, my brother and I just got our signed 4 jerseys. So, there's it's been and we haven't even got to free agency yet. But it's been, I think, massive win of an offseason for the Double E.
And I think when the rumblings occurred and then his hiring became official, I mean, you did hear around the league of former players and saying, well, this is going to be a good free agency type of, bait, I guess you could say, for players, another term. But
hope
this is going to be a place for people wanting to go. And again, it's a fresh reset. So there's not a lot of any real stank from what's gone on over the last couple of years. Calgary tears continue to fly in. Andrea from Calgary. Every time I hear Kilum talk, I'm even more bummed out that he didn't get his chance with the Stamp. So it's almost a double win there as well. You're not taking him from Hamilton or somewhere else. He's coming from your direct provincial rival, and boy, would that be sweet if he could come here and find a little bit of success.
Sweep the Labor Day.
I mean, come on, you kidding me?
That would be pretty good. All right, that was a great conversation. He's a good dude. Look forward to doing that again. If you're watching over on YouTube, we're 19 likes away from changing 300. We'll do that by the time this guy's done his update. If you're watching over there, hammer the thumbs up for us. And Oilers and Capitals tonight. That's where the focus turns here in hour number 3.
Yes,
more Oilers and
Caps.
Back to the ice.
Back to the ice.
We'll get to the ice coming up with kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. That hurts. Gage will be by. GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. Marmot Bates and Snow Report in the wrap, of course, for William Huff. Nielson Show brought to you by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go check them out. www.southportchev.com. We do need somebody to play kind of easy trivia right now. Gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual up for grabs. I am sweaty. You're right. I got to take off this.
Dude,
why is it so warm in here?
It's like damp.
God, why is it so warm in here? I'm drinking as much H2O as I possibly can.
It's not doing anything for you.
If you want to play kind of easy trivia for that Mr. Mike's gift certificate, text Brundon over there at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and he will pick one of you. You will play kind of easy trivia and kick off hour number 3 just right. One more time if you want to play kind of easy trivia, 780-218-9999. Let's get to the update for Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Game day here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Oilers and Capitals tonight. One of 8 games around the NHL. You can join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 6 o'clock for your GCL Diesel pregame show here on EST as the boys will get you set for tonight's game. You can also join them Post-game with the GCL Diesel post-game show, taking your texts and reaction. Oilers, of course, without Connor McDavid for the next 3 games. That'll be tonight, Thursday at home to Vancouver, and Saturday at home to Buffalo, as tonight's game kicks off a 6-game homestand for the Orange and Blue. Other out-of-town scoreboard last night, Golden Knights, they've lost 4 straight now following a 5-4 shootout loss to the Blues. LA have also dropped 4 of 5. They get dumped by the Penguins 5-1. Jets fall to Utah 5-2. And Minnesota snapping a 3-game skid 3-1 over the Avalanche. Ohio State Buckeyes capturing college football's national championship. They survived a late Notre Dame push, 34-23 your final. It's the school's 9th national title. 8 games around the NBA this evening, including the Raptors back on the court when they host the Magic. And TGL Golf picks up again today at 5. Atlanta Drive Golf Club will play their first match, featuring Patrick Cantlay, Billy Horschel, and Justin Thomas, up against 0-1 New York GC, which is comprised of Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, and Cameron Young. Sports Update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Yo, YEG. Let's kick it. Ice District. Ice District. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice District open, here's what you're missing. Rogers Place, shining so brightly. Get your tickets, watch McDavid nightly. Can he be stopped? Yo, I don't know. Give him the puck and he'll go to the extreme. Nothing but a sick handle around the D, man. Make him look like Yandel. Damn. Game over, the night looms. No more 1/18th and poisonous mushrooms. Surprise, it's a new winter garden. I mean Ford Hall, I beg your pardon. Love it or hate it, you better get going. Ice District's the bomb and it's just exploding. If there was a problem, yo, he solved it. You're on the hook while Kate's just profits. Ice District. Ice District.
8:06 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. Nielson Show brought to you by our partners at South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chevrolet.
So you got a nice EST branded
this is
t-shirt.
way
Now
better.
you're feeling good, eh?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Even this quarter sleeve is...
I should have done this hours ago.
Not airing out properly.
Yeah.
Get those pits going, hey?
It's nice. Like, Trev's sitting out on the couch out there. It's very cool out there.
Is it cool in there?
Yeah,
hey?
I don't know.
But you can tell the difference in here. I mean, it is.
I think it's these bright lights. Must be the bright lights. Or Brundon is just so on fire over there today that he's smoking. He's a hot little furnace. That might be what it is. All right, you can text us anytime. 780-218-9999. You know where that gets you. That gets you smack dab into the Paris Jewelers inbox, where text of the day is up for grabs. You'll win an A&W gift certificate for text of the day, but the inbox is brought to you by Paris Jewelers. 22 stores in 4 provinces, including locally West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park, and St. Albert Center. ParisJewelers.com. Hour number 3, pretty slam jam packed here. 3 questions too many coming up. That hurts for James H. Brown. Gage will be by just after 8:30. The GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. The Marmot Basin Snow Report and the wrap for William Huff. More of your reaction. Connor McDavid gets the 3-game, what do they call it? I think the kids call it a suspy. Connor McDavid gets the 3-game suspy.
3-game skibbity.
And he will not be available to play tonight against Alexander Ovechkin, which is a major buzzkill, as Marshall, Keith Nielsen, and I will be attending the game tonight.
Leon Draisaitl will be Alex Ovechkin. 2 of the league's best goal scorers.
Greatest goal scorer in the game today versus the greatest goal scorer of all time tonight at Rogers Place.
Which one's which?
Whoa. Whoa, look at that. I'm glad we were able to show Mark Kilum our tampering window.
Again, it's not just our... I mean, it can be used.
Yeah. If he wants it.
We will loan it to the football club if they need to,
Chris Morris, let us know.
Do a little tampering.
Let us know if you need the tampering window. We'll rent it to you. We'll give it to you for a week. $850.
Yeah. Per minute.
That's how you
Keep
can
that tampering quick, eh?
Get your hands on that. Move quickly.
You gotta
move quickly.
Choose your words.
Bring Jake Seresna back.
Ah.
Hey, well,
Yeah,
that'd be
well.
nice. All right, so 3 questions coming up. We will continue that conversation on the Oilers and the Capitals tonight. But if you do want to chime in on the 3-game suspension, I mean, I think we've kind of said everything that we need to say. From yesterday afternoon here on the station to today, 3 games, thought it should have been 2. It's not the end of the world. You'd like to see more penalties called. Yada, yada, yada. He'll be back and light up the Kraken on Monday.
Yes, and again, an opportunity for him to get a little rest, and Leon Draisaitl to firmly lay claim to the Hart Trophy. Thank you very much, NHL. Right? You got to find the...
All right, who's playing Kind of Easy Trivia today, Brendan? Who do we have, man?
We got Corey this morning.
Corey is going to play, looking at his hands on a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever, 6 o'clock or lager in the house. And I do suggest you try the classic Mike burger and fries. I know they've got a lot more delicious other items on the menu, but it's just such a steady go-to. You cannot go wrong with a classic Mike burger and fries. All right, let's play.
Is that where the Nielson men are going this evening for the pregame supper?
Well, we're going to be downtown probably, so
yeah, you can.
Maybe we'll get it and just go eat it downtown.
Get it delivered down by the Bob and Doug statues.
Oh, and sit there together.
Wouldn't that be something?
A father and son.
Yeah.
A father and son at the
Sharing a
game
burger.
together. Oh, I'm going to get emotional tonight.
I know you will. Are you sitting up high?
Me and my boy, we're in the lower bowl.
Okay,
top end of the lower bowl.
God,
we're
if
not
you
down
were up
super
high,
low.
you'd be bawling.
Oh, I'd be crying like crazy. That's why I had to sit down low. All right. Corey, you ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right. Brendan will start the ticker after we read the first question. You need 3 of 5 correct. Here we go. Which Oiler was suspended for 3 games yesterday?
McDavid.
How many games did Tyler Myers get?
3 games.
Who did Myers cross-check in the face?
Bouchard.
Who do the Oilers play tonight?
Washington.
Is Ovechkin from Russia or Red Deer?
Russia.
Got it.
Got him there.
Who's that loud boy in the back there, hey?
No! No! Oh my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment.
Totally.
People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV.
That's stupid.
It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just
I'm
so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, 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 not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, 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 not today.
Clubby Loop provided by Corey today, and he's off to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. This text is in, it says, it's not the end of the world unless you have plans to bring your son to their very first Oilers game on Saturday with the sole purpose to see McDavid.
Yeah, like you get Ovechkin tonight.
Yeah.
Saturday against the Sabres, I mean, Ryan McLeod's return, you know, it's tough to build to your son that, hey.
It was tough breaking the news to Marshall. Like, we were listening to Reed's show when the suspension was announced. And Marshall didn't know we were going yet. And he's like, oh, McDavid's out 3 games. I guess we won't see him tomorrow night. He goes, what? You know, it sucks. I mean, Marshall doesn't go to hockey games very often. We don't go to hockey games in the stands very often. It sucks, but you can't be mad at the NHL for that. I mean, Connor McDavid cross-checked somebody in the face. Now, actually, for the 3rd game, you can be mad at the NHL.
Okay, yeah.
For the guy who's going on Saturday, you can be mad
Tonight's
at the NHL.
Game, Thursday's
Tonight's game,
Saturday,
Thursday's game, I get it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Blame McDavid for that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Should not have cross-checked him in the face. So, we have to eat the fact that he's not going to play tonight. Marshall won't get to see him. But the Saturday game, the 3rd game was a little much. I'd be mad at the NHL, I guess, if I was bringing a kid to the Saturday game.
That's fair. And the Sabres of all teams, too. Adds to it.
Regarding the 3-game suspension, it's stupid. It sure is, Kevin. That's from the... You know what I wanted to mix in yesterday was the clip from Happy Gilmore when he goes, kick him off the tour, Doug. That's something that needs to be used more. They got to put that into they have to spice up these lame-ass NHL suspension videos. Mix in Happy Gilmore clips. I think that would be good. Whoa, changing $300. Let's go.
Somebody suggested the Talk Boy from Home Alone.
You got anything?
If you provide me the script, I'll do the entire...
Just say, yeah. Oh, really? That would have been fun, actually. We should have got the entire script.
Yeah, I mean, but something along those lines, like a Gilbert Gottfried. Like.
All right. I hit a nerve with some people claiming that Alexander Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of all time. So far, they're like, wait till he passes Wayne, then you can say it.
Well,
but
he's literally walking around the museum, taking his jersey and wearing his gloves.
How many people are allowed to just go and try
all
on
over
Wayne
the place?
Gretzky's gloves?
Yeah, like big dogs in town here, hey? At least you get a Connor tonight, though, in Connor McMichael.
Got to love Connor McMichael.
Brown's been putting in some points against his former squad, too, over the past little while, so you still get your fill of Connors.
There'll be a few Connors there.
Yeah, a couple
I
Connors.
had to tell Marshall, hey, we're going to see Connor tonight. Oh, thanks, Daddy. Who? Connor Brown. All right. Do you have a liner for 3 questions too many?
Yes, 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and their dealer principal, Mitch Lewicki, where he wonders who selects him in the category of best-looking car dealership dealer principals.
Category.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
Yeah.
Not salesmen or salespeople. Dealer principals.
Handsome Man Draft goes down next Friday.
And he's a good-looking
9
cat.
o'clock right here in Edmonton Sports Talk.
He's got hair.
Do you think we have to have an Edmonton media category?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but I don't even know if there's 4 people to draft. Nothing against the guys.
No,
but
this whole draft is beauty in the eye of the beholder. There's no right or wrong here. That's the fun part of this draft.
Yeah, but outside of Tommy, I mean, how many other guys are we actually classifying as handsome?
Cam Moon.
Mooner's a nice looking dude.
I'm just
I don't know. I'm saying it's not a bunch of Brad Pitts covering the team, you know.
I mean, who's the Reed Wilkins, Jason Milne, for crying out loud? That's a hot duo to take you home at 3 to 6.
You know what this does?
ESC. Reed with his beard.
Reed with his beard is pretty good. What this does is it just creates. If we do go with Edmonton media category, it creates. I mean, to get Tommy would go a long way in this draft.
It would, yeah. Or do you select him in the open category and then also
and then it's just a bunch of average looking dudes in the other category. You know who should be selected?
Yeah.
Rashog's cameraman, Dave Parker. That's a handsome man.
You go straight to the.
No, but he is.
You skip Rashog and go straight to.
If you have nothing against Shoggy,
yeah.
but his cameraman is way, way more handsome than Shoggy. He just is. The Shogger, I mean, I would hope he would admit it because it's a true fact.
Hell, does Noah Rashog have better? Does he pip out his dad for?
There's elements of his game that his dad has lost along the way. I think we could say. All right,
drafting youth here.
Yeah. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric on Twitter, X, and follow Edmonton Sports Talk at YEG Sports Talk as well.
Question number 1. And you can submit your questions to 780-218-9999. Question number 1 is, guys, is the bottom line with all this McDavid stuff that the Oilers are just too soft? Where do you come out on that conversation?
Bottom line?
It's been claimed in the city that the Oilers are too soft of a hockey team.
Well, I think somebody, and you said we're going to be putting lines together tonight for the top 6 or whatever. Somebody had Josh Brown filling in every single blank.
Totally makes sense.
But where is he? I mean, I don't think they're soft when you can point to guys like him. And
but he can't play in the NHL in the playoffs.
I know that, but I mean, I'm just saying that he's been skating around for the past few games and really hasn't done the only thing that you'd expect him or to have him around to do. I know Corey Perry can be a pest at times, although a little long in the tooth right now. So I think they have elements. Noodles mentioned Arvidsson as well as bringing that type of game to it. There's no heavy. There's no big booming. Somebody in the nasty chat suggested Tom Wilson will look good in Oilers jersey, but it's not that type of game anymore. Those guys are few and far between.
Except Tom Wilson can play too, right?
He can play, exactly. Yeah. So it's a bit of a unicorn there. But no, those days are done, and it's not the league anymore. But in terms of soft, I wouldn't mind maybe a bit more sandpaper. Sometimes, in certain moments, I don't mind that. That's where the league has gotten to, and I think that's why it frustrates people so much. Is that there's nobody that takes the law into their own hands. It's just a bunch of guys running around doing whatever they want, and that's the league at fault there for just letting that happen. But that is how it is. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if they joined the party at times. I've always professed over the years that they don't really take part in the dark arts, shall we say, of the league, in which other teams, do quite well. So it goes the same with LTIR and cap manipulation. Like, if you're not taking advantage of these loopholes the league clearly allows teams to take advantage of, I don't want you sitting around bitching and complaining about other people doing it. So yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind a little more sandpaper, but I don't think they're too soft.
I would, like to, you make a good point, like a little bit more sandpaper. And maybe it comes just from the guys in the lineup once you get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And maybe everybody's a little bit greasier there.
Draisaitl can bring it a few times. He can be a little gnarly, and McDavid has a snarl to him.
McDavid's being suspended for 3 games for cross-checking. Like, there's some grease in their game here. But I hate that this question pops up on this scenario. Because let's just say, for those of you who are like, the Oilers need to be tougher. Let's just imagine a world where, just for lack of a better example, because there's not a lot of these guys anymore, let's just use Rempe as the example.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you have Matt Rempe on your fourth line. Okay. Plays 6-7 minutes a night. Every time he's out there, you're worried he's going to do something stupid, take a suspension, or the puck's going to end up in your own net. How does having that guy on your roster stop what happened against the Canucks? How does having Matt Rempe on the bench stop Connor Garland from interfering with McDavid in the final 20 seconds of a hockey game? It doesn't. Like, that's why we're blowing this incident up, this incident up to being so much more than it actually was. Like, McDavid being held by Connor Garland in the final 20 seconds of a hockey game doesn't change if there's a heavy on the bench, like there was back when they won the Cups in the 80s. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. And it wouldn't have changed a single thing. You will not be able to convince me otherwise. You think Connor Garland, in that moment, is going to see Connor McDavid trying to tie a bloody hockey game with less than 20 seconds left and go, ooh, I can't interfere with him because Matt Rempe will come off the bench. But he was, no, that's not a thing. He knew he could do it because the NHL put, and I ranted about this earlier in the show, the NHL puts the whistles away in the final 30 seconds because it's hockey.
You like that one.
Dude, man, I hate it. Like, I just don't know why you would officiate the game different in the final minute of the game than the first 10 minutes of the game. That's not how it's supposed to be done. But I don't think Connor McDavid gets engaged with Connor Garland to the point where Garland should have got an interference penalty because the Oilers are soft. I don't see that. I disagree with those takes, and I think it's kind of a crazy question.
Q Machine says Klim Kostin for Skinner. I'm assuming he's talking about Jeff and not Stewart. But
I don't think they're going to trade Skinner, but let's get to actually question number 2 ties in nicely. If Jeff Skinner can't get into the top 6 now, will it ever happen?
I would say the chances would lessen quite some.
If he can't get in now, he won't be in the top 6 again.
Well, unless they go on a terrific or horrific run of injury or something like that. But yes, the scenario would be something that would be forced in and not, yeah, this is a chance. Again, you look at this too, and McDavid gets 3 games off. Okay, whatever, pays a fine. But there's an opportunity here, I guess, for somebody like Jeff Skinner to say, hey, here is a chance. However you want to, lay that on coaching and how big of a chance he might be given. But yeah, if not now, when?
Tommy Gazzola in the chat. I think it's time to get over the Klim Kostin thing. Like, Tommy's sliding in there this morning.
That got him, hey?
Yeah, that
Ladies
was
and gentlemen, we got him.
Tommy does not have time for people getting wanting Klim Kostin to come back.
Is it Krim to want Klim? Tommy?
Question number 3. Speak of the devil himself. Guys, will Tom Gazzola have an advantage in the handsome draft because he is so handsome himself? Like, does it take handsome to know handsome? And do you have to know handsome to draft handsome?
I think I've selected the 12 days of Christmas before in a draft, like my own work. I think you could could certainly like.
That's a good point. But
select
did it give you
himself.
an advantage in a musical draft because you are such a good musician when it comes to the 12 Days of Christmas?
No, but I mean, like, are they saying that he'd be too like bashful to choose himself? Like that?
No,
that's the
I
mission
think they're
of-
just wondering if like, does he know about handsome men more than us? Because he is
because
handsome
he is
himself.
handsome. Well, he's a man of style. He's a man of taste and culture. I mean, you saw the latest suit jacket that he was modeling, or the
I saw that
what is
one,
it?
that winter jacket or
pea
whatever it
coat?
was.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, whatever you want. So yeah, he knows his way around the block when it comes to that. I do believe as well. His co-host there in the Hangout today, Matthew Iwanek, cleans up pretty good. Like he's a good-looking young man.
A
right?
handsome
Like
man.
he gets around. So yeah, that might give him a heads up. He might. He's always hobnobbing it down at the rink, press level. You know, he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
He even
handsome
know
man.
at least the media type
of handsomeness there.
Man. Should we also, Atif is clamoring for a wheelchair category, perhaps.
Atif, you're not getting drafted.
He wants to find his way into the draft.
Atif, I don't think you're going to get drafted one way or the other. Sorry, man.
I might.
You're going to draft Atif?
Score you some points. You did say we're going to have a different category, and I didn't mean this to you, Atif, but in terms of a lesser handsome category.
Yeah.
Average looking.
It's going to be interesting to
we
draft
say
it because I want to go to my wife and say, give me a list of the 40 most handsome dudes ever.
It also turns into your hit list.
I'll probably be top 10. I mean, let's be honest. She did marry me.
You had a chin strap, though.
I did have a chin strap.
You got to be
then.
specific with your picking.
I thought maybe it'd be a funny bit. We were talking about this last night when we were having dinner. If we all dressed up as handsome as we could to do the handsome man draft. You know, come in looking as good as you possibly can look.
Quite the stretch
for the handsome man draft.
You would have to get with a chin strap, though. It can't be CFL.
Maybe
it
I
can't be
would.
beard. Yeah,
Maybe I would.
You have to.
No, I think beards are handsome. I think beards are very handsome. You know what? I wonder if we have to have a beard category.
Eye of the beholder. Some like beards, some don't.
No, but the weird thing is if I ask my wife to give me a list of the handsome men.
Well, she counts for one vote.
But also, most of our social media followers, like a good chunk of them, are men.
It's true.
So they're going to be the ones who are voting on this. So does her opinion matter, or should I draft from the mindset of a man who thinks other men are handsome? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one, but I am looking forward to it.
I have a strategy in mind, but
how does the commission tie in here? What's the commission's category going to be?
One handsome
Quinn
woman.
Phillips could throw. I do refer to her as a handsome woman, so I guess maybe that
would be. I would go straight after that. That'd be my first rounder. If that's like,
all right, let's get into That Hurts for James H. Brown, the heavy hitters of injury law. If you've been injured in an accident and you want things to get taken care of the way they should be taken care of, then look no further. Go to jameshbrown.com, and that's where the process starts. And the good news for you is that they will take care of everything for you. And their great crew over at James H. Brown has doubled their Fill the Net initiative here in January, not only donating $100 per Oilers goal to Santa's Anonymous, but also donating $100 per goal to Little Warriors to help with the advancements at the Be Brave Ranch as well. So just another outstanding charitable moment for James H. Brown as they continue to help everybody in the community.
What a team. Yeah.
All right. This is what I think hurts. Did you see the Joe Bowen tweet last night?
I did.
I felt so bad.
I made the mistake of clicking on it as well. And whenever
that hurts too.
Well, when you're associated with a team like the Leafs or the Oilers or whatever, and you put something emotional out there, I mean, the vultures just circle. And then as the game went on, obviously, and the Irish fate became known.
So Joe Bowen, longtime voice of the Leafs, tweets out a picture of him and it looks like his son and his grandchildren all in their Notre Dame gear. They're going to watch the game.
House is like, it's nice and clean. And
the Christmas tree
they've
still
really prepped for
which
this.
I did like that might have, maybe that was a picture from the holidays. But anyway, it was a great picture of them all in their Notre Dame gear. Anyway, he says, many thanks to Jeff McDonald, who's like the program director at TSN 1050 in Toronto. Says, to allow me to spend a very special day with my family. In 43 years of doing this job as the voice of the Leafs, this is the first day off I have asked for. Go Irish.
I find that 43 years, there has to have been something.
No, I don't think so. Because
43 years is a big swath of time that a lot of things transpire in somebody's life.
He says this is the first day that he is asked for it off. It doesn't say he. But when you're a play-by-play guy,
Sure.
you don't want somebody else to have a chance to do play-by-play because they might Wally pip you.
You're there for
And they'll be like, that guy's better.
Yeah.
But I just felt so bad. This is the first day he's asked off in 43 years. And he wants to just watch the Irish with his son and his grandsons. And then they lose in the championship game. I felt heartbroken. That's got to hurt. Like, that must have been such a sad household.
But they made a game out of it.
They did.
The way it was going, I thought, he's going to kind of pass out there mid-third quarter. I'm watching a video that he had. They got 2 big bowls of popcorn on the coffee table. The drinks are flowing. They're all in their stocking feet. High fives all around. Like, there was some good things to cheer for. It wasn't a total stomping, which is nice. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose an end.
It got interesting in the end.
So
still,
I think in the end, but
And some of the replies, like you said, I mean, that hurts too. Let a man enjoy his time.
Yeah, he tweeted out, "They will hear our voices in Atlanta. Here come the Irish." Oh, and it's the one where he's on the one knee, and he's
the Bowen household last night. First day off in 43 years to watch that game. And then they take the L.
Bowen would issue a series of tweets following the game, just going on the loss. He says, "That's why we enjoy sports so much. It's all about family. The winning is a bonus. The losing is a lesson."
Oh, wow. Man, this guy's nailing it on social media.
Somebody also questioned about the Christmas tree. It's almost February. He goes, "Superstition is an awful thing. It's coming down tomorrow." That was
so they
night.
left the Christmas tree up because of the run.
Because of the run.
I appreciate that too.
There's something there to be.
It's like Blue Guy growing a beard right now. He's like, I can't shave it now because the Commanders are on a bit of a run themselves.
Yeah. Spoil this for everybody.
Yeah. All right. We got Gager on the other side here. We'll get his thoughts on the suspension. If you are watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We're going to push 400 here, hopefully. And what are we there? Almost to 350. So hammer the thumbs up for us. We got a jam-packed second half here.
Colleen Ballmer, also Gene Principe might be
but can we put in brackets without the hair? Like, when Gino's got
beholder, I think the hair rocks.
I think Gino's more handsome when he's short hair. No? Fresh haircut, Gene Principe is a handsome man.
Ask Tam.
Yeah, I guess I will, but it doesn't matter. She's only one vote. What are we going to do there?
Well,
what are we going to do there? All right, Gager is on the other side here of this sports update for Sit and Sleep, plus a GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast, plus the Marmot Basin Snow Report, and of course the wrap for William Huff. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tell your friends how easy it is to consume EST. Let's get to the update with LTE.
A game day on EST. Oilers, Capitals in one of 8 games around the NHL tonight. Handsome Tom Gazzola will get you set with the GCL Diesel pregame show. That starts at 6 here on EST, and you can join Tom and Herdan Salas following tonight's action, taking you home on the GCL Diesel postgame show. Oilers will be without Connor McDavid for the next 3 following his suspension yesterday, as tonight's game against the Capitals kicks off a 6-game homestand for the Orange and Blue. Last night, the Wild snapping a 3-game slide, 3-1 over the Avalanche. Utah top Winnipeg 5-2. And Oilers getting some help as well. LA have now dropped 4 of 5 as they fall 5-1 to the Penguins, and the Golden Knights have lost 4 in a row. They fall 5-4 in a shootout to the Blues. The Ohio State Buckeyes capturing college football's national championship. They would survive a late Notre Dame rally, 34-23 over the Irish. It's the school's 9th national title. TGL Golf picks up again today, later at 5 o'clock. It'll be the 0-1 New York Golf Club taking on Atlanta Drive GC. They have yet to play a match. Atlanta featuring Patrick Cantlay, Billy Horschel, and Justin Thomas, while New York will bring forth Matt Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler, and Cameron Young. NBA tonight, 8 games, including the Raptors back in action when they host the Orlando Magic. Sports update for Sit and Sleep. Sit and Sleep currently offering a winter clearance event, from massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture. Our winter clearance event is your chance to transform your home at a fraction of the cost. Plus, enjoy perks like free local white glove delivery and special financing offers that make it even easier to bring home the best. Visit us today in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
DRS, DRS, drop that wing and try your best. Get up close, you've got to press, must be within 1 second or less. Show that speed, please don't swerve. Hey, look out, here comes a curve. Hit the button, be ambitious. Goodbye, Mikey, too judicious. Around the world, they will prance. Red Bull Ring to Paris, France. And you never want to finish second best. Push on and refuse to lose, drop the wing and then use DRS, DRS, DRS.
DRS.
Well, on that note, we had a big announcement yesterday, too, with Lewis there.
I know, that's where we're going
And
to
did
start.
you read in the conspiratorial theory of the background?
No. Was it a green screen?
Well, he was in front of that Ferrari building.
I saw that, yeah.
And there was like 7 or how many championships does he have? Whatever. That's how many windows there were.
No.
And the red door signifying 8, his next one.
Man, I love that type of idea.
Right?
God,
I bet you that's all.
people are nuts, but I am here for it. All right. Nielson Show presented to you by Southford Chevrolet. Atif is offering to give Tommy handsome tips in the chat right now. Bones is in. It says thick, dirty glasses draft. Atif first overall, possibly.
Well, Nash and Whitecourt says you weren't too old to sit on Bobby Hull's lap, Dusty. Are you too old to sit on Atif's at the game tonight? Which is a great Bobby Hull point from earlier in the show.
I am. All right, let's bring in Joaquin Gage, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Check out their upcoming private signing with Oilers D-man Brett Kulak. Submit your items or select from theirs, located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, online at proamsports.ca. All right, let's bring in Joaquin Gage this morning. Gager, good morning. How fired up were you to see Lewis yesterday? Are you buying into this theory?
And the door of the building is significant because he has to go in through the door to get 8. Right, that was the whole conspiracy theory. So the 7 windows represent the 7 championships, with Lewis now going through Ferrari's door to finally get that 8th one.
That's done. That's not a coincidence. No.
It's perfect, and he looks severely Italian mafioso with what he's wearing too. Right, he just looks. I mean, you're talking about a handsome man draft.
Yes,
if Lewis
what I was
Hamilton
just gonna say.
is not in that with that outfit, man, that there's you can hear ovaries cracking with that picture.
He was just all I could think about when I saw him in that outfit he was wearing. I was like, my God, handsome man draft. Lewis Hamilton is getting drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds. I mean, he's well maintained. What can we say? He's well maintained.
Come a long way since McLaren.
I think that's fair too. He's come a long way since then. Gager, what was your guys' show like yesterday? I guess suspension came out after, but what was the reaction leading up towards it yesterday?
I think a lot. Your guys' show this morning has been more, I think, worrisome about the toughness of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, that didn't come up.
I think a little bit, I think. But this was more how many games that you think he's going to get, the severity of how's Bouchard. But I think most of our conversation was what's going to happen with John Klingberg, right? We had his availability and how he spoke, and the number one thing I think that reassured a lot of Oilers fans is, I mean, the minus 86 over the last few years is a little bit concerning, but when he mentions about he's been playing in pain for the last few years, and kind of the frog in the boiling water, right? So it's bothersome, and then he said it himself. He said, there is no way that I can play through 80 games feeling like this. And I'll take him at his word. He said he feels great. He says he has mobility. And what we talked about with Bouchard, in a different aspect of just not being as confident on the defensive side, and seems to be in that 50-50 zone when Klingberg said he didn't want to get blown by, so he was playing it safe, and because he knew his skill wasn't able to turn and defend properly. So I'm not saying Bouchard's hurt. I'm just saying that his confidence on the defensive side is lacking a little bit, and maybe that's what you saw with John Klingberg for the past few seasons when he was in the NHL, just because of that injury.
I like the route you're going, and I like kind of moving away from this stuff because, as I kind of mentioned earlier, the only consistent thing about NHL disciplinary actions is the inconsistency, and you kind of take it, you move on. There's not much you can do. I kind of wanted your thoughts, Gage, too, and Dusty posed the question earlier with a guy like Jeff Skinner, and through sometimes these things does come an opportunity for some. How do you see the Oilers' top six shaping up tonight? Is there you see much change, a lot of knob adjustments from the Garlic King, or how would you kind of set up things tonight against the Caps?
I mean, to me, I looking to the future. They're playing the best team in the NHL tonight, guys. Like I said yesterday, if you were to ask or poll us all at the beginning of the year, if you thought the Oilers would be playing the Washington Capitals that are the best team in the middle of January, we would have thought you were crazy. No chance we would think that. So, and again, this is who knows what happens in playoffs down the line, but you can't tell me that the Washington Capitals aren't one of the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference now, right? You're playing, this could be a possible Stanley Cup final with the way that they're playing, the goaltending they're getting. It's a message sending game to see how you stack up against this team. If you're asking about the suspension and stuff, it's all warranted to me. I mean, Connor's cross-checked a guy in the face. That's fine to me. He was mad, angry. People asking about if this team's tough enough. I think they are. It's a different. You answered the question before, both of you. With it's a different league now. Guys like Tom Wilson are the unicorns, as you mentioned too, Eric. There's just not a lot of those guys that play with both that sandpaper and the ability to be put out in situations to be relied upon, not only offensively but defensively as well.
Would you just leave Draisaitl with his two current line mates tonight with McDavid out, or do you play him with Hyman, or do you just go Nuge, Hyman, and then maybe Skinner or Kapanen or somebody up there?
I think you keep Draisaitl together, but this is another. We always talk about there's opportunities throughout the season for maybe certain players to show something, right? So over the next 3 games during the suspension, this is a time for Jeff Skinner to really possibly solidify himself as a regular top 6 guy that can be counted upon. I keep Draisaitl together, and then I don't know. There could be a blender of trying to find some sort of chemistry. I just hope that I think it might be easier for Coach Nabla to put Skinner in maybe more positions to have success with more skilled players now that Connor McDavid's obviously out of the lineup. I wonder what that first power play unit looks like, right? That's a good question. I didn't hear that they practiced it at all, so no one really got a good view. Usually they don't usually run through it in pregame skates, I don't think, and probably it'll be optional anyways. But maybe that's the opportunity for Skinner to get a look on that first power play unit, right? So it'll be interesting to see what how that works for him. But look, this is a key moment of the season for Jeff Skinner to show everybody what he's got, and maybe from what it looks like, get back into the good books of the Edmonton Oilers coaching staff.
You played the crease Gager as well. Logan Thompson coming off first star of the week in the NHL. Expected he'll start. Caps kicking off a 6-game road trip. Should be I know we're all talking like Ovechkin, Draisaitl goal scoring capabilities, but an outstanding matchup tonight between the pipes.
The total set at 5.5.
Yeah.
Books aren't expecting a high scoring game.
I mean, you look back to 2017 with the Cam Talbot, and goaltending, sometimes good goaltending can cover up a lot of defensive issues with teams. And I haven't watched too many Capitals games, obviously, but from what I've seen, Thompson has been world class this year, to the point where if if anyone gets injured on this Canadian Four Nations team, he not only is he the guy, Dusty, he's probably the starter if something happens, right? Like he's been phenomenal this year. His numbers are astronomical. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has tonight, right? That's quite encouraging. But again, you look at the past few seasons that he was good with Vegas. Like he was a good goaltender, but it seems like this year something's actually really clicked for him. I don't know what that is, but without McDavid, it's I don't want to say easier because the Oilers are still a really good team, but there's just not another weapon that can kind of break down really good goaltending that we kind of saw with Mackenzie Blackwood, who had been going for a long period of time, and it seemed like the Oilers just broke him down after 40 minutes.
Gage, before I let you go, and I only bring this up because while we were talking to you, I got 2 email notifications on this. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Is that I have an account there, but I never go on it. I've never set up my profile, and I keep getting emails from people being like, this guy wants to connect with you, and this guy wants to connect with you.
And
I'm
I'm
like,
connect with you?
I don't know. Gage doesn't want to connect with me yet, but I'm just, Gage, should I invest some time in LinkedIn, or is this like...
It's, I don't know. I mean, if you want to, unless you're looking for a job, Dusty, are we going to keep going with this thing? I don't know.
No, everything's good.
I mean, I think you're okay. But
is that what it is? Is it just like a job site? Is it?
Yeah, this is like a
you
showcase.
get stuff. Post the only time I see him post a lot is Cass. Cass posts stuff on there.
He's a big LinkedIn guy.
Yeah, he's a big LinkedIn guy.
Ooh, I should try to connect.
I've actually contacted old acquaintances through LinkedIn, like guys that I used to play hockey with. Things like that. So maybe, and to see what kind of field they're in. So that's kind of interesting. But I don't really post anything there. Yeah. Most of the time it's just people contacting me to see if they can help me in any way, shape, or form. Right. So
that sounds annoying.
But that's it's a little bit annoying. Yeah. But if you ever fire me, then I'll have to punch up the resume and throw it back on there for part-time radio host.
All right, Gager, good stuff, man. And we'll see you a little bit later on.
Can't wait.
There you go. That's Joaquin, Gage, 2 guys and a goalie coming up. And then, of course, EST afternoons from 1 to 3. Yeah, I signed up for LinkedIn like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've never done anything with the account. And I still see people trying to connect. So then I'm thinking, we're not just on the air. We're running a business here now. Mm-hmm. Like, should I, as for example, I told you I had a meeting yesterday. And
huge announcement.
Should I say?
Well, I don't know.
Save the
it's a big one. Yeah,
because it's a big one, but it'll also be hilarious, I think, for people.
It's almost press release worthy. Would you not say?
Edmonton Sports Talk.
Get David Wasik down here.
Funny. That would be funny.
Run it at 5.
You know what? That would be one of those bits we could make it to our own YouTube story, like a 2.5-minute bit on us joining
this.
that.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, that's a good. Actually, that is a good idea.
I want to chime in. Boyd loved LinkedIn.
Our old boss, he did love LinkedIn.
My wife's on it all the time.
I'm just wondering if I should be on there to connect with possible partners and clients and stuff.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, It's just drumming up conversations. It doesn't mean you're desperate for a gig, Yeah,
no, I'm not desperate for a gig. I have no time for another.
No, but
gig
just being on there and floating around, I don't think it's not going to do you any harm.
You can be whoever you want on LinkedIn.
I like how you guys haven't. You should connect with Gage though. Just
I mean, if I'm on there,
start up a communication.
This is one of those things I don't even remember which email. I guess I know which email, but I don't remember the password.
You're an
I'll
egg
do a
emoji
password reset. Take some sort of fancy business picture. I don't know if I'm there. Fish Tank says for salespeople and networking. See, networking wouldn't be bad.
The term. Yeah, that is.
If you're personable and good at your job, you do not need LinkedIn. Well, I am personable, so maybe I don't need LinkedIn. I guess. Somebody said it's here it is. Avoid LinkedIn. It's like a Facebook where your buddies from high school who you used to buy pot from give you crypto advice now. That's kind of funny.
Well.
All right, let's keep things moving. We've got the Orange and Blue Breakfast as the Edmonton Oilers without Connor McDavid.
Dun, dun, dun.
Go to work tonight against the Washington Capitals. Orange and Blue Breakfast brought to you by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine components They're critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta and the area for over 50 years. I gotta tell. I bet you Cam and his crew over there are on LinkedIn. Yeah, I probably they're a very successful business.
Yeah.
They're probably on LinkedIn and they're probably linking to people in the States and they're doing business with them.
Maybe looking to poach a few guys. You can do that on there too. I think you can
man, how about that? All right, let's get to your. I mean, it's going to be tough to figure out what the Oilers are going to do with their lines tonight. Leon Draisaitl. I would think they leave Leon with Victor Arvidsson and Vasily Podkolzin. That's the one thing you know. You know that line will be good for you.
You don't want to do too much, right?
Yeah. Nuge, Hyman, Skinner. Let's do it. Let's see it. Let's get nuts. Instead, they're going to probably go Connor Brown or something.
He has played good against the Capitals as of late.
Who's this?
Connor Brown. So maybe,
Well, but then leave him with Henrique and Matthias Janmark, you know?
Sure.
Philp, Perry, Kapanen, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, and Emerson. As for the extremely consistent Washington Capitals, you look at this team, I don't think you look at this group and go, yep, one of, if not the best in the league, but here we are. Dylan Strome between Connor McMichael and the great eight, Alexander Ovechkin, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Tom Wilson, Alexei Protas, as you
second
said.
line there. That's
Lars Eller, Ethan Frank, Taylor Radish, Nick Dowd, Mangiapane, and Brandon DeHame. And then Rasmus Sandin with John Carlson, Chychrun, he's been a big part of their turnaround, you would think. Chychrun with Van Riemsdyk, and then Martin Ferhevari with Matty Roy.
I think I got a young gun for Ferrari.
You probably do. Yeah.
He's
Those
young
are the
gun.
ones that you always get.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
God damn it.
He has
Ferrari.
young gun written all over him.
Young gun again. This is tough. As for a list of guys who aren't tough enough to play hockey tonight, let's get to your podium physiotherapy injury report. Knee pain from a nagging ACL injury, hip or shoulder pain slowing you down, back pain after a long day's work. We've got you covered, whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of everyday life. The expert team is there to get you back on track at Podium Physiotherapy. Unlock the athlete in you. Who's not playing tonight?
For the visiting Capitals, Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, and Sonny Milano all on the IR. And for the Edmonton Oilers, Evander Kane out, Alec Regula listed on the IR. And of course, Connor McDavid. Not that he's not tough enough to play tonight.
He's too tough.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's been going to Podium Physiotherapy too much.
He's too savage right now.
Yeah. He's got to
can't play.
Take a timeout.
He's a vicious beast.
Yeah.
So without Connor McDavid tonight, what is your key to an Oilers victory here in the Orange and Blue Breakfast?
Well, somebody's stepping up for Connor McDavid. And I think Gage said it right, too. When you have a goaltender as hot as Logan Thompson is right now, sometimes it takes, a bit of that special wizardry to solve in terms of Connor McDavid. So I said it. I think this is the week Leon Draisaitl captures the heart of the NHL. And maybe, again, we saw this earlier in the season when McDavid went down in Columbus. And it was still early, so there's still a lot of question marks as to how this year would go and everything. And things were still, not settled. And, he's going to have to step up. He's going to, And what did he do during that stretch? He stepped up with both feet. He stomped up. So I think Leon Draisaitl will play a big part tonight, as he should. I mean, it's not rocket science here, but yeah, easier said than done against one of, if not the best team in the league. Some would argue that. But Leon Draisaitl to crack the code of Logan Thompson tonight.
Well, and then that'll be my game day prediction. I'm going to say both Draisaitl and Ovi bury tonight.
And you said, what was it? 5.5, like a low score, but
5.5.
But two good goal scorers here on display tonight.
Two
against
elites.
Two, good goalies.
Two elites. I'll say both Draisaitl and Ovechkin find the back of the net.
Do it for Marsh. Do it for the Marsh.
Do it
man.
for my son.
Do it for the Barracuda. He'll be in that
yeah, I'm going to be yelling that in the third period. Ovi, do it for the Barracuda.
That and fan zone in between shirts.
And Marshall's sitting next to me going, fan zone.
You said lower bowl, though? Are you in the broadcast? Are you one of those yahoos that
up,
can stand up and turn around and,
No, we're up like behind the net that Ovi's going to shoot twice at.
Oh, okay.
That's what I got from Marsh.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll keep my eyes peeled.
I'm not that low. I don't think you'll be able to see us. But we are going to take our shirts off at one point with letters on our chest.
You might get on
so
there.
you might see us then.
OV.
Yeah, it's gonna on the Marshall's gonna have an F.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have a U on the front. I'll say F you, and we'll turn around and I'll say player of department safety. Hey, how's that sticking it to him?
F you dopes.
Jared says, Dusty, are you telling me that you wouldn't just use your Jackie Moon painting as your fancy LinkedIn business picture? That's a great idea.
It showcases to people that you're approachable. Like, it's not too serious. You don't want to be too serious on there, right? Like, this guy's a fun guy.
Oh, this guy's fun.
Yeah.
Got a beer in his hand that is one that we created.
Let me connect with him.
I might take LinkedIn by storm with that Jackie Moon photo. All right, that's your Orange and Blue Breakfast for GCL Diesel. Maybe some of you aren't going to be watching the game. Maybe some of you are heading to the slopes. Let's get into your Marmot Basin Snow Report.
Oh, dude.
So stoked. Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked?
Stoked.
Just so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
You've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
I'm your huckleberry.
Minus 11 this morning out at Marmot. Forecasted high of minus 5, warming up nicely. 12 centimeters of new snow over the past 5 days. Settled snowpack sitting at 70 centimeters right now and 161 cms of total snowfall for the season. All lifts are operating. How about this? 22 runs were groomed last night. Get up to Jasper for great skiing and take in all the events during the last week of the Jasper in January Festival. SkiMarmot.com for all the details.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
No.
Makes my day.
Marmot Basin Snow Report makes a lot of people's days. It really does. So.
That is the landing spot for that clip. After the drop.
The daily drop.
Oh,
that's
God.
the one.
Yeah.
Make me very sad in the summer.
Well,
I'll have to talk to Marvin and be like, what do you got going on in the summer?
A bike trail report.
It's the grass report. See what we can do there. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours or Rogers or Commonwealth or the various other locations around the city that Bruce and the team over at William Huff have spiced up since 1952, www.williamhuff.com. What did we learn on the show today, buddy?
You sat on Bobby Hull's lap.
I did, as a child.
Well, and
now I put him number 21 on my all-time list.
A child or a teen? Were you a young teen? How old were you?
Well, it was early 90s. I might have been 9-ish.
Okay, yeah, that's child. You're still, yeah. You don't like...
I think you're a child till like you're 12 or 13.
Teens,
13.
yeah.
You're a child.
12 would be the final age because it's not teen.
Yeah.
13, 14,
That's true.
12 would be it.
You're still a child at 12, I guess.
But knowing your genetics and everything, I mean, I look at Marshall now. He's basically, I mean...
I wasn't as big as Marshall
if he came into the
in
liquor
grade
store.
4.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Well, that's because when I send him into the liquor store, he does wear his Groucho Marx setup. Nobody's ever going to card somebody wearing a Groucho Marx thing.
Hello, sir. Your finest...
I'm here for my daddy's spice rum. How old are you, sir? Oilers 92 says, Dusty reviving the old Prairie Farm Report in the summer. We could find some Prairie Farm Report music.
PFR?
God, I used to read the farm and oil updates on Country 95 in Lethbridge.
I would pay a lot of money for old VHS tapes of the Prairie Farm Report.
Prairie Farm
Lots
Report.
of money. Get in touch.
We used to run that on this station too, I think.
Can we run it on here?
Maybe. Is this still a thing?
Overnights? Sure. Well,
Why not?
just the older episodes.
All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. Sound of the day. Look at this. Let's go here for the sound of the day. The Oilers are back home in the Ice District. Let's do that.
Yo, YEG. Let's kick it. Ice District. Ice District. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice District open, here's what you're missing. Rogers Place, shining so brightly. Get your tickets, watch McDavid nightly. Can he be stopped? Yo, I don't know. Give him the puck and he'll go to the extreme. Nothing but a sick handle around the D, man. Make him look like Yandel. Damn. Game over, the night looms. No more 1/18th and poisonous mushrooms. Surprise, it's a new winter garden. I mean Ford Hall, I beg your pardon. Love it or hate it, you better get going. Ice District's the bomb and it's just exploding. If there was a problem, yo, he solved it. You're on the hook while Kate's just profits. Ice District. Ice District. Ice District.
Ice District. Good home stretch here for the Oilers. McDavid is going to miss half of it, but they still got it hot. I'm interested to see how they play for the 3 days. I love this. Mo trying to convince me that the Irish are back. You know, as I was considering entering the transfer portal, Mo texted. He goes,
coming hard.
Hey, Dusty, the Irish are back. Both teams last night had to overcome a terrible in-season loss, won a home playoff game, and had to win pseudo-championship games for a chance to play in the national championship. All Buckeyes fans had abandoned the ship the minute they lost to Michigan, which is so on brand for that fan base. There's only room for one carpetbagger in Edmonton sports talk scene. Go Chiefs, go. Plus, you would have to paint that beautiful beard jet black just like their head coach. Today is not a day to mourn. The Irish are back. They've got their head coach. They've got their independence. And there's a clear path to a perennial college football team moving forward. Go Irish. Woo! Mo, I'm back. I'm back. Transfer portal be damned.
That's a great shot at Ryan Day and his beard.
It is. Yeah.
That's really nice.
That's a pretty dark beard, isn't
he
it?
needed to win it after the Michigan loss, and he makes a good point about Freeman. I mean, the future, it ain't over. It's just to see you later. Maybe, what's his face? Bowen can invite you over next time they're in a...
I'll get over there next time. Hey, shout out Reed Wilkins, who said, do hockey players use LinkedIn?
Nasty chat and stitches after that one.
All right, text of the day today. Where do we go for text of the day? A and W, where right now, sausages and eggers, bacon and eggers, 2 for $6. You can get 2 sausage, you can get 2 bacon. You can mix them up because of the flexibility that they have there. And of course, it is game day, which means Mama Burger and fries for just $5. Man, where do we go for it? We didn't do a big theme for text of the day.
Was there a Santander text that we can...
Was there anything earlier in the show? Trying to think here. Tons of texts.
No, there wasn't like a scenario or situation where it was fill in the blank and you're off to A&W. I mean, if Reed would have texted the LinkedIn one, I was
going to say, I mean, he probably would have won
already. Yeah.
He probably would have won text of the day. You know what? Let's just do this. The first person to text in Reed Wilkins' YouTube chat of, do you think NHL players use LinkedIn will win text of the day
He's
today.
assisting you there, hey?
Yeah. He's helping you out. Because, I'm going through here. I mean, this is good stuff. If we don't track the text, there's just too many of them, and then it's just, that's on us
but
today.
there was no
It's on me.
standard of.
No, we didn't get into a crazy theme or something, right? So,
I mean, Red did name your greatest of all time list the gloat, which you really need to start using. Not funny
good.
or
not
whatever,
funny.
but I mean,
but it could be significant.
Yeah, maybe you take a different path. But
for
maybe
text of the day today, first person to text in, I wonder if hockey players use LinkedIn. Well, win it courtesy Reed Wilkins. It's a funny Reed joke.
And when you go to order A&W, say I'm here.
That's to say, yeah.
Reed Wilkins.
Reed Wilkins gave me this. All right, that's going to do it. Brendan, good job today. We got the hangout coming up. YouTube Trev on the hangout with Maddie and Jasmine. That's coming up from 9 to 11 today. I'll be back with Huss. Oh, God. Lock Shop today with Huss. His Kansas City Chiefs victory lap.
And he DM'd me yesterday. He said, how does Dusty not know about the Costco guy? He's bewildered that you have no idea.
No. So that's going to come up too.
Class is in.
My bad. Sorry, Huss. Lock Shop. 2 guys in the goalie today. Boom. EST afternoons. The Reed Wilkins show from 3 to 6. And then, of course, the GCL Diesel pregame show starting at 6 o'clock, taking you up to puck drop. Postgame coverage to follow. You do not have to go anywhere else today for your sports entertainment. And your Oilers information, we've got you covered right here at EST. I'll talk to you at 11 for Brendan, Lieutenant Eric. I'm Dustin Nielson. Take it easy.